really hesitant right now because I'm hearing reports that this thing is basically a done deal. I'm trying to track it on Twitter and everywhere else, and I just I don't know. I'm getting a good vibe from it. I've seen the Blaze is the one I just saw. I'm seeing other people report it too that Elon Musk is going to make his takeover official of Twitter. I can't believe it's happened. I am popping bottles. A monster, of course. It's too early for any other bottle. I don't even drink. So I don't drink much. I'm not against drinking. I just don't have a reason to much. Cheers to the possibilities, to the future, to the most influential thing potentially to happen since Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton. What a moment. I have to take some time to absorb what the ramifications of this are. I'm very curious to see what the details are. We're going to find that out probably fairly soon. But I didn't believe it would happen. This will be my crow. I mean, this is like liquid piss, basically, this monster. So this will be my crow. I'm going to eat it. Let's go. Is everybody ready for this? Is everybody ready? Are you going to be able to talk about what happened in 2020? Are you serious? How weird is that going to be? I feel like a kid. I feel like a little kid, like your parents said, nah, you can't do that anymore. And then now the parents on vacation, or I don't know what the analogy is. Or maybe they dropped you off with grandma and grandpa. Grandma and grandpa just like, I already raised them. It's time for us to have fun. I'll get all the candy you want, get all the treats you want. Let's save a country together. Who would have thought just 5 months ago, 6 months ago, that you would even be able to say a statement that it's possible that Twitter could save a country? Dino Ray Studios, let's go. Everyone's coming back on. You know it. And I didn't think it was going to happen, but Elon was tweeting these memes and he was acting pretty boisterous when you go back and look at it. The meme about Bill Gates and the pregnant man, that was pretty bold. So we'll see what happens, what the next steps are. He said he's going to take it private. I think he has to. This is still a cultural, I don't want to keep using civil war. This is a cultural conflict of this most serious nature over information. So he's going to get attacked. I've already seen it. On Twitter. So I don't have my full thoughts here. This is just breaking news that has to be covered in real time. Elon Musk reportedly has reached a deal. I don't know who's with him. I think he's going to try and keep that private. Probably Dorsey and others. But this is popping off. Bye Felicia was trending. Breaking news. Blaze reports Twitter and Elon have reached a deal. My goodness. How did this dude pull this off? I'm just going to go through I'm just going to go through the timeline and tweets and all that. So I'm just going to be random and scattered. Somebody said here, and this is fair criticism in my opinion. If you think Elon Musk buying Twitter will usher in a new era of free speech, the dude who criticized Elon on a blog post only to have his Tesla order personally canceled by Elon Musk would like a word. To my knowledge, that's a true story. That doesn't mean, though, Elon's not going to be for free speech on Twitter. And that because this isn't the essence of free speech, what he did there, but it is fair to say now we're already in the accountability stage. And I feel like I'm not sure if it's real. I still need to see something tangible to believe that this is happening. I need to know the details of the deal. I'm going to talk about some things to keep in mind, some pitfalls and stuff that Elon, I'm sure, will find a way to navigate. There's going to be winners and losers. Truth Social, that's going to be one of the losers. Getter, all those alternative platforms. But there's a possibility that Elon could do something big and we got to try and push him to do it because he listens to people. There has to be enough people, though. Elon Musk, the whole reason I found out about really Elon Musk and Tesla was through my dude Rich Rebuilds. He used to do a channel where he would put the cars together and he would say everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he did enough to garner the free Roadster through his referral codes, and they canceled it on him because he was critical. All of it based in truth, valid opinions, and he said the good stuff and the bad stuff. And I'll never forget that because I'm a big Elon supporter, but Rich Rebuilds is how I found out about Tesla and how I became a Tesla shareholder and, a fan of all the companies. And in my opinion, they did him wrong. So now we're getting into we're in the celebration stage. Don't get me wrong. We are also in the accountability stage already. It's that quickly. That's how quickly it happens. And I can't believe this. I just can't believe this. Welcome to free speech. Twitter halted. Is that trading halted? Is the stock price on Twitter rising? Of course it's rising, but it's not rising that much, is it? Or is it right? Oh, is it stopped because you've got something going on and you might have to stop trading? This could be a legit thing because otherwise the stock price could rise. Tesla's down today, but let's just say Twitter has a bright future with one of the greatest business minds ever at the helm. So people are coming from all different angles. This one says Elon Musk risks stretching himself too far. Yes, there is a risk to that. But this is a man who's already stretched himself from boring tunnels underground to traveling in space to electric vehicles. I think he's got that covered. And he already has an AI company. That's Tesla. Tesla is an AI company. And that's all Twitter is. He's going to slash, I think, more than half the employees. Probably trim it down to under 1,000 is my guess. 1,000 even sounds large to me. And he's going to bring in his people he can trust. He's going to say, if you're triggered by this, please do me the favor and not be like an undercover spy trying to sabotage me. Get out. I can't believe I'm doing this video, that this is actually happening. It seems like it was just yesterday we heard the news. Bishop, let's go. Everybody's in here. It's time. It feels like go time. It feels like Michael Malice is doing a book. If you don't know Michael Malice, famous ANCAP, probably the most famous ANCAP in the world right now, wrote a book, The Anarchist Handbook, really put together a bunch of essays. It reads like a Libertarian 101 book. Excellent piece of work. And he's writing another book called The White Pill Moment, or something like that. I don't know if he has an official title. Something like to the effect of white pill. And he's got to be riding away right now. This is the biggest one. This is the biggest one. This is the moment. You have somebody who is not afraid to go against the grain to lead this company. The ramifications cannot be overstated. You should be, if you are an independent thinker, if you're an independent journalist or whatever you want to call yourself, streamer, the ramifications are endless. Because I'm expecting the free speech capabilities of maybe not Gab. Here's one of the pitfalls. I think it's time to bring it up. It's still on the App Store. So the same criticism I said of Trump, same criticism I had, of Truth Social, Getter. Gab is off the App Store of Google and Apple. they don't use the App Store. I don't think they use it at all. You go to the website, and that's how I do it. You just save the link to your home on your phone. It's fine. But it's not through the App Store. So there's still these measures of control that Tesla's going to have to navigate. And I don't know, maybe he'll have an answer to that, but that's something you're going to have to overcome. But I'm still expecting the same type of free speech that you get on Rumble. Rumble's in the app stores. I'm expecting the same type of free speech on Rumble on Twitter. And that's not full free speech, but at least it's an attempt to get there. It's closer. Gab is the closest. You can't do Gab, I don't think, in the App Store of Apple and Google. That's not possible. So we'll see. I didn't think it was possible to buy it, so we'll see. Let me get into the comment. This is going to be a vibe one. Yo, I'm so pumped right now. I got the Exodus dose of white pill. Yes, let's do it. We got that healthy dose of white pill. Crass 2047. If Trump isn't reinstated, it will be openly changing the election. Woo! In 2024, that shouldn't be legal. Well, we're seeing a lot of stuff. Marjorie Taylor Greene shouldn't be on trial either. Trump's coming back. There's no doubt about that. It's changing the midterms. I mean, this is not a good sign for everything is going against the status quo, the establishment right now. As far as Twitter, as far as this whole momentum, and then the red wave even without this. Everybody's clowning. Lincoln Ford says, if you can read this message, then you ain't black. Sincerely, Joe Biden. Oh, man, we're going to have fun today. I'm going to have to call off work, man. This is just too important. You know, all the bad news and dark news and, you know, all that kind of stuff. This is the moment to enjoy. I'm not going to rain on the parade. We're going to have fun today. Lincoln Ford says, I go to Gab and 4chan for spicy memes. You're going to see some spicy memes on Twitter. Then I go to Twitter to do battle with lefties and Marxists. That's the thing. And that's why I use Twitter way more than Getter's good. I don't really have any beef with Getter and how they've set it up and how it's working. It's not true free speech, but it's still a good app. I mean, it's just a fake Twitter. But their video stuff has been good. I think their video's better than Twitter. And they only let the elite go on there. They don't let plebs on there yet for Getter, for video. But the thing that resonated with me there is you go to Twitter for battle. I just got in a battle with a lefty today. I'm not going to get into that topic because we're celebrating here. I'm not talking about, but that brings me to Twitter. The echo chambers collide. And it might happen where they don't collide as much, depending on how the algorithm works. I hope it's public. And you might see an exodus. I don't think that's a good thing. I understand the bye Felicia. I understand. 1 second here. I'm going to have to text my wife and tell her I'm going to be live for a while. Like a few hours. Wow. Like, we just going to have to party. I want to hear the news conference. I want the breaking news. If something breaks, somebody put in the chat, please. But like what I was saying is, I don't really want, tell me what you think about this. I don't want, Lincoln Ford, thanks for stopping by. I don't want the lefties to leave. I'm not going to lie about that. Because the interaction is good. And I learn about myself. I change opinions sometimes based on what they have to say. I don't want it to be an echo chamber. That's what Getter is. And I like Getter, but it's like, it's probably healthier. I use Twitter to prepare for videos and stuff. That's my excuse. But before I did videos, I was not on Twitter at all. Rarely on Twitter. But Getter doesn't bring me back because I'm there just to get the information. And it's like, it's weird. There's not a lot of disagreement there. So I'm clearly on the more populist right of things. Because if it was a populist left platform, I would have more kind of friction. like Nina Turner. But the memes are coming back, Lincoln. You know, Elon's all about the memes. The thing that I didn't like about Twitter, or I thought could have been better, was there's all these trending topics in the world. I just want to search on the memes for them. Just show me the memes that are, and I know they can do that. I hope Elon does that. So we got the memes for Elon buying Twitter. I want to see the memes I just want to search. I don't know how you do it. Maybe just a button like search memes. That's what I want. The left doesn't like that because they can't meme. Memes are like, you got to be based on truth. But let me show you the populist left here. Nina Turner. Ugh. They have to play this. They almost like playing this role. Like they're so fake. And she did a tweet about Elon Musk here. Let's look at it. Elon Musk. You know, I don't want to revel in them kind of twisting in the wind awkwardly. I don't want to do that. But it's kind of, it's kind of, I don't want to enjoy it is what I'm saying. But let's just look at it. She said Elon Musk is the prime example of why unfettered capitalism is a danger to this country and the planet as a whole. He's not a genius. They are in a bad place, man. And I don't want them to be. Nina Turner she purports herself to be this populist left. She just lost the runoff in my old hometown district in Ohio. And what did she say was the big problem? Big money. Twitter, hopefully, if Elon does it right, the playing field will at least be a little bit more level. I'm very curious to see how people could buy advertising and all that. But, I mean, it would be much more level for all these people running for Congress that don't have the big budgets. And Twitter might be suppressing them. I don't know. So this is an odd tweet by Nina because she really could leverage this into a more fair system for herself. She said he's the product of generational wealth and a rigged system. So this is trying to discredit. He's not a genius. He's only wealthy because of his family. We all know that's a damn lie. That's not the only reason why he's wealthy. I don't even know how wealthy he really was, from his family. He wasn't 280 plus billion wealthy from that. We know that for a fact. A rigged system, we can talk about that because I think the system is rigged in a way, but we got to talk about what that means. That sees billionaires as somehow more important than the average person. They aren't. I agree. But the reason why I'm popping bottles, Nina, is because you can't snap your fingers and change that. So if we have a billionaire that might align with our interests, then we are going to have to celebrate tonight because we're tired of billionaires that put the boot on our neck every day. So that's a good thing. You want to live in utopia where the billionaires don't rule anything anymore. That ain't happening. So I'm going to celebrate this. Let's get some comments. How are we feeling? Interviewed a candidate. Oh, wow. Ray Studios interviewed. Who'd you interview, Ray? See, that's the thing. Are you on Twitter, Ray? I forgot. So you got to get on Twitter. I will. If you're not on Twitter right now, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and Elon doesn't turn this into a free speech thing and whatever. But you've got to, if you're not River, right, left of center. If you're not on Twitter, get your ass on Twitter right now. Just in the case that Elon Musk does turn this around, where you could have more of a fair approach or fair opportunity in the algorithm, you got to be ready for it. Meaning you could post videos, post links, and maybe get more views. Who knows? And we'll test it out and see. I hope Elon Musk is able. I hope there's not any non-disclosure agreement or something like that. I'm hoping he's able to tell us what happened before, so we can learn from it. I don't want to go in the past, but I want him to tell us, not just make the algorithm public going forward. What was it doing in the past? I want to know that. And if I were Elon, I would want that in the deal, that I can talk about that. I can see that. So we know, because it could all come down to a lack of trust where the algorithm's not doing anything. You're just not seeing the views that you should. The views you're getting are accurate. The bigger problem is the lack of trust. You look at any of the YouTubers that I watch, most of them, other than like Tim Pool, they're like, I don't know. And then they assume like the algorithm's against you. We don't know that. So let's see if Twitter frees it. You could post your links. You could do slide. I'm live streaming on Twitter right now. You could have more of an opportunity. Get on Twitter immediately. Ray is on Twitter. Nice. Running for the House in Alaska. Wow. Good stuff, Ray. Friend of show, Ray Studios. Man, that's exactly what I was talking about. You interview, I don't know the name of the person, but you interview somebody running for House in Alaska. Who knows if you are able to get more views on Twitter going forward than you would. I would guarantee you probably would more than Rumble, because Rumble is still growing. I would like to see Elon Musk integrate Getter, Truth Social, Rumble. Somehow you can open up the API and let the other platforms all the way in, and then say, hey, you can integrate. Getter kind of already had that a little bit where they took the followers over, but I'm talking about full integration. Getter. So if Jack Posobiec is on Getter, his Getter and Twitter are intertwined. So he doesn't mind if he goes on Getter a little bit or Twitter, because if you don't do that, then you're not going to go to Getter as much. So I'm looking forward to all that kind of stuff. Ray, you come in. This is a big deal. Big deal. For you Twitter people Tesla people, SpaceX people, everyday astronaut, man, y'all are the next thing. I think over the next couple years, I'm not going to say that Elon's going to put the algorithm in your favor. I hope he does not. That is possible, but I hope he does not, because that's not really what I want. But I'd rather that than what we have now. And hopefully he'll free it up to do more stuff with, because Twitter had the fleets or whatever that didn't work. I think you can do that in a way that makes more sense. These short videos. Let's go. I'm surprised. Hypercube, I am surprised as well, and I think I am a little hesitant. I'll be very honest with you. I'm a little resonant, I think is the right word to use. I want to hear the deals of it, the details. I am not in any mood to be black pilled today. So don't get me wrong. There will be no black pilling, none of that. But I am curious how this happened so fast. I don't know how the poison pill worked out. How did that work? I don't even know the details of that. But I do know Elon Musk, what he did is he started with the shareholders. Then he worked on them politically to say, hey, you guys got to do this. It's no brainer. And then he's like, I need you guys to put pressure on the board. How was he able to do that in 11 days? I don't know. This isn't a normal dude. This is not your normal dude. Nina Turner's on here saying he's not a genius. I don't know what you define as a genius or not, but I for damn sure would never make the statement that he's not one. Because if he's not one, then I don't know what it is. The shareholders know what's going on. Okay. Jeremy, sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Sego. I'm a bit reserved about the whole takeover. I have those same reservations. I just did a video yesterday on my other channel saying it's a 0%. I said it's a 0% chance that the deal is going to go through. And now that it goes through, I do have those reservations, but the possibilities are so monumental. They far outweigh my few reservations, because Elon Musk is not getting into this deal to be some chump. He just doesn't do that. Bob Lyons. So visit Ray Studios' channel. He did an interview with Bob Lyons, Alaska candidate for Congress. It changes the whole political atmosphere. It changes the social atmosphere in our country, potentially. Bishop says any change Elon does to Twitter will be better than whatever the current leadership has been doing. That's my source of optimism. Absolutely. There's no reason for me at this point to believe that the changes that he might make are going to have it worse than what it is now. Man, I can't wait till Alex Jones comes back. I know other people really ran his account, but the presence, Alex Jones. How about when young Nick Fuentes gets back on? How long do y'all think that's going to take? I would give it, where are we at now? May? I would give it by the end of summer at the latest. Elon works fast, so I would guess probably by the end of July. It might even be sooner. That's probably long term. You'll see the different thing. You'll see the terms. The terms of service would have to change. The algorithm has to be public. You can't bring them back before that. Just because Elon bought the company doesn't mean he controls the company. Who controls the algorithm? I'm almost thinking of the algorithm like the Eye of Sauron. like you walk into the company of Twitter, you buy Twitter, until you see the algorithm and touch that thing. I was about to say that MFer. Until you touch that MFer, you don't own anything. So that's the next step. Like if I'm Elon Musk and I just bought that thing, it's like looking for the engine of the car. I'm buying the car, the engine. Well, maybe they took the engine out and said, "Nah, you can't see what was in there," but that's fine. So he can start the new engine from scratch. So when he runs up in there, that's got to be it. Everybody's saying, "Thank you, I love Elon." That's my dude, man. That's an inspiration. I think about what would Elon do very often. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to do this. What would Elon do? I'm at work. I'm kind of struggling. This system I'm doing is very inefficient and bogging me down. What would Elon do? Yeah. Ray Studio says it won't happen right away. I see a lot of lawsuits in the future. Yep. There's going to be lawsuits flying everywhere, hit pieces. Enough with Nina Turner. I don't have time for this nonsense. Nina Turner and her garbage. And, and it's the other thing about them is that even if you have that take, you don't provide any perspective. Like, there might be some good things that happened, Like, okay, there might be some good things that do happen from this. That is possible, guys. Like to say, hey, I have concerns about Elon Musk. I have concerns about the process, but there could be some good things. That's not a algorithm-friendly take. There's a hit piece already. Yeah, so this is what happened. Twitter shares halted, announcement imminent. Woo, it's real. It's done. It's real, guys. I don't know what the details are, but they stopped trading on the shares. Done. You can't. They're going to have, I think they're going to have a meeting. I don't know if they're going to cancel it. Thursday, they were going to have their Q1 meeting. It's real, man. I can't believe this. It's real. What's next? Oh, my goodness. I don't want to see any of that stuff, guys. I don't have time for that right now. I follow Theo Jordan on Twitter. Theo Jordan is like, it's officially time for the left to cash that. Quote, Twitter is a private company and can do whatever it wants. Check. The non-left is out here. We out here in the building. We just out here dancing. Like, okay. When you have a culture war, and I'll be honest with you, literally pretty much every day they're stomping on us. I mean, it's just what it is. That's why people are forgoing morals and getting fed up. Things are escalating. For the most part, have been stomping. We've seen some white pills, though. Libs of TikTok, they try to dox and cancel, but actually grew her subscriber base. They tried to cancel Joe Rogan. He gained 2 million subscribers or whatever to Spotify. There are some things that are positive, but this is the big one. This is the big one. And then Emma Joe tweeted, then retweeted, make the algorithms public. That's the number one thing. And he said he was thinking about it. But Elon Musk will, if people don't care about that, who knows if he really lives up to that. Oh, wow. Everybody. So Steve Jobs is legendary, a legendary dude. And Elon Musk is more in that elk. And I wish he was alive today to see like what's happening, man. He was a visionary to see what's going to happen next. I mean, Twitter is going to challenge TikTok, and how are they going to do that? It'll be step by step by step. They're going to have to do it in their own way. You can't just copy TikTok. That's stupid. Instagram's trying to do that, and I don't know if it's really working. Hopefully this is the end of Twitter executives rambling on and on about healthy conversation. And when they say healthy conversation, it's conversation that they want. What's in that glass? It looks like human piss. I won't lie. So it's celebration time. It's popping bottles. I usually don't drink Monster during the day, but if Elon Musk buys Twitter, there will be bottles popped. Yeah. Yes, it's a Monster, an original Monster. Let's go. Let's go. Man, Twitter, I keep saying Twitter. Tesla community should be acting a fool right now. They are in the best position ever. A lot of them were shadow banned. If you look at the shadow ban tools, at least from those tools, they said a lot of them were shadow banned. That you're going to be freed, and we're going to have better, I think, discourse. You're going to see Substacks rise up, Glenn Greenwald rise up, Tulsi, all that stuff. I mean, this could have ramifications. Think about it. They hid the laptop from hell. Think about it. Twitter did. I mean, Facebook and others, but Twitter was one of the biggest ones. That won't happen anymore. Like, people literally said, I wouldn't have voted if I had known about it. That's the ramifications of what we're talking about here. This is not a joke or something like that. Number two, or somewhere after making the algorithm public, it's changing the terms. And who else needs to be back? Trump needs to be back. Marjorie Taylor Greene's original account needs to be back. I'm a huge, I like Dr. Naomi Wolf a lot. She goes out there on the limb sometimes, but I like her thought process. Steve Bannon, back. Nick Fuentes, back. Alex Bernson, back. Michael Senger, back. There's a whole list of them. And then not only back, I think free to express yourself. If Elon frees it, the first video I'm going to do on Twitter is going to be about what happened in 2020. I want to, from the standpoint of looking forward. I'm not looking back. We're in 2022 now. If you're looking back, you're lost. But that'll be the first thing, to be able to talk freely about what happened in 2020. Those are the type of things I'm looking forward to. Because you can't, obviously, Trump is still in his feelings about 2020, and I know it's bigger than feelings, but you can't bring him back unless you make sure we can talk about what happened in 2020. Otherwise, he'd just be back. Oops, first tweet banned. So, yes, of course he's back. And anybody on the left who was banned, I don't know if there's any that exist, but and you start with this clean slate. I don't think violence is appropriate. There was a tweet that attacked from this Antifa type account that named the real name of libs of TikTok and talked about violence. So if you just talk about violence in general, even like the, God, I forgot his name, the NYC, Frank, whatever, Subway guy, he was talking about stuff in general. I think that's still okay. You could block and run away from it, but when you start putting someone's name with it, that is to me, that is not free speech. That's a threat. That's crossing the line and should be banned. But that wasn't, so the person tweeted it about libs of TikTok, their real name in it. It was reported, and Twitter came back and said it doesn't violate our terms. But when the Babylon Bee uses the wrong gender, that's considered violence and a threat. So those days, I think those days are over. Those days of policies that only lean one way. Alex has been a thorn in the establishment. arse for decades. I want Alex Jones back on. Period. Alex Jones, I think he's become a caricature of himself and people don't take him seriously, but he puts a lot of work into his show. And he's pretty much resourced on everything he talks about. And I can't wait for the day to have him back on. And there's plenty of others that are lesser known that will turn Twitter into a whole different world. We've never seen, since Trump, for sure, we've never seen a big social media platform that's unbiased against the populist right. Haven't seen it. It's escalated to where it is. It wasn't as biased in 2016, but obviously it is now. And what about talking about the pandemic? How nice would it be to say, hey, I can still use locals, but I can do it on Twitter. I might do Twitter only videos. Like, let's just talk about the pandemic freely like adults and say whatever we want to say within, obviously within reason. Freeze things up. Yeah. I won't tweet that one. Nevo Media, but I hear you. The left is a bully. Oh yeah. Oh, the left they're savage. I tweeted, well, with what Taylor Lorenz did with Libs of TikTok, literally putting her life on the line. Now, again, I'm not saying Libs of TikTok deserved to be anonymous when your account gets that big, but for the Washington Post to do it, to amplify her real address and name and all that, that's a threat. That's talking about bully. That's like a life or death situation. People on the left are going crazy. Let me get back on Twitter, see what's going on. Let me know if you've seen anything happening. But this is where we're at. This is why I think I called the video a new era. We're in a new era right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be good, but we definitely are in a new era. Libs of TikTok can post their things a lot more freely now. Not worried about being banned. So you can follow people. You won't have to worry about, oh, what happened to that person I used to follow? It won't happen as often. The other thing I haven't talked about much is I think there should be a public statement or maybe a public resource of if someone gets banned, what they did. I don't know how that looks. Maybe you don't want to repeat the exact thing that got them banned. I don't see what the problem is. So we can see that's where the line is. Because wherever the line is, we're just like big kids. We're going to go up to the line. Just like YouTube. If I view it as, I'm very kind of conservative in not the political sense of that, but I'd rather not get my channel, struck and stuff like that. But I also think about if I'm not going up against the line, then I'm not pushing the envelope enough. So you always have to go up against the line. Just show us where the line is. YouTube purposely, and Facebook as well, they purposely don't tell you where the line is so you don't even get close to it. I can understand that in a way, but when you just talk about politics and stuff, it's hard. And when you don't say where the line is and you ban someone, then you don't know if the treatment is fair. So that's what really needs to happen too. We need to know where is the line. Maybe even a warning like, okay, this is close to the line because of, not publicly, but maybe to you in a private message or maybe on a post where you could see it. Be careful. If you had said this would be over the line or something like that. It'd be good. Gary Black is a very good financial guy analyzing Twitter and a lot of Tesla. He said Twitter trading at 4% discount to the $54.20 bid, which seems about right since deal won't close until later in 2022. Oh, I see. And could still fall apart. Yeah, I know. Take some profits. Okay, so that's interesting. So the deal won't close. So I'll have to see what the details are because that will change the timeline. I'm surprised. Anybody know where the deal? let's see here. Cyrus Tim Pool said he's buying a billboard in NYC saying Taylor Lorenz doxed libs of TikTok. I saw that tweet. Tim Pool's a fool for that one. He probably would do it too. Tim Pool's got silly money. It's good advertising for him too. He always talks about I should buy a billboard. I don't think he ever has. But they're pretty expensive. But when you got his money, hey, it's advertising that he's never done before, and he wants to affect culture. Another white pill moment. Tim Pool talking about building with Daily Wire and stuff. So that's another white. I don't know what it's going to be, if it's a social media decentralized option or something like that. So maybe if Elon Musk doesn't do the API publicly, we know Ian Crossland, Tim Pool, is all for open source. And it's a nonprofit I think they're doing this through. And I think they're going to operate it like a real nonprofit, like they're not trying to make money off of it. But regardless of that, if they get the alt platforms together, then it would be, so you don't have to go to Rumble, Locals, well, they're together now, but Rumble, Odyssey, Gab, Getter, Truth. So you could go to Twitter and then go to your alt platforms. It's a bad day for Facebook too, a little bit. Because if Twitter opens up and gets the things that I think they will, like you can make your own algorithm, then you could make Twitter basically like Facebook, but better. Facebook went really heavy on the control. Can you even order? I'm not on Facebook a lot. I don't think you can even order your timeline based on how recent, on date. Unless it's somewhere I don't know where it is. They fully curate what you see. Like, on YouTube, if you go to YouTube on the home page, that's not your subscriptions. So they're just predicting what you want to see or whatever. That's what Facebook has become. I don't even think you can see a linear approach to people you follow, you're friends with. And that's a lot of control. Way too much control. So you might want to go to Twitter at that point. Oh my God. Scott Pressler says, Democrats haven't been this mad about an African American or African fighting for freedom since they started the Triple K. Oh man. If you don't know Scott Pressler, that dude is amazing. I think he should be the next Republican chair. That's how impressive he is. Basically, a guy who goes on the street. He was named in the J6 committee hit list, and all he does is sign up people to vote Republican. They don't like that. So they wanted to threaten him, obviously. Let's see what else we have going on based on Twitter. Oh, my dude, peasant journalist. Oh, Meta Biota. He's talking about the laptop and Hunter. Wow. If you don't follow peasant journalist, you got to. That dude is for real. So let's see here what changes would you like to see Elon Musk bring to Twitter? Any changes that I haven't talked about yet that you might like to see? Bring Ariana back. Who's that? Somebody said his resignation letter. Not banning half the app would be a start. Yep. Somebody said nothing. Wow. Money to my bank account. I'm not passionate about the edit button, even though I'm one of the worst with typos. I'm not passionate about the edit button. Reselling it. Yeah, the bots. The bots have to go. That's a top priority. The bots they really skew the conversation. And Elon already has a plan for that. If you haven't seen, he tweeted about that. He is going to look potentially at verifying everybody, every human. So you'll be able to say, I only want to talk to verified humans. Every human would be verified. I think he would still have a special badge or something for celebrities. I'm not sure. I don't think you need one if you verify. You could have fake accounts is the problem. Someone who pretends to be Justin Bieber or whoever. Yeah, Scott Pressler was a fool for that one. He's not really that big of a jokester that I've seen on Twitter, so that was kind of funny. This is pop culture, so you're going to see a lot of leftist type or pop crave. I follow this just to figure out what's going on in the pop world. So this is it. I was just talking about this. Everyone who signs up for Twitter Blue, i.e. pays $3 a month, should get an authentication check mark. And that will get some revenue, but his real concern is to get the bots out. And then you can really, because if you're doing these bot farms, are you really going to be paying $3 a month for all the bots? I don't know. I'm not a big expert on how they do that, but I think Elon is, or he can get people who are. Suspending Nikki. Nikki's dope. Nikki, come on back, Nikki. To ban Nikki. Wow. Did Nikki say anything recently? Oh, I do follow her, but I don't get alerts. I should get alerts. Nikki said men should wear gray sweatpants every day. Jeez. Let's go, Nikki. Elon's back. You can talk about whatever you want. Nikki's talking about men wearing gray sweatpants. Oh, man. She's not a kid anymore. Greta. I love the memes. I got to collect these memes. Elon Musk owning Twitter is the domino. Now, this isn't accurate, like many memes, but who's going to let the truth get in the way of a good meme? Because they suspended Babylon Bee after Elon had started this whole thing. Because he bought the shares in January, and Babylon was... they were suspended after that. But it might have added to the motivation. Twitter suspended Babylon Bee and started a chain reaction of dominoes that got so big that now Musk owns Twitter. Yep. Everybody's bring back Trump. Everybody wants Trump back. The left do too. The biggest thing that could keep the left that just, what is thy bidding, my master left, whatever the establishment says they do, I think is having Trump back. A lot of them wanted to see what Trump tweeted right when he tweeted and to get your thoughts out, even if nobody sees it. Bringing back Trump will protect the lefts from leaving. Absolutely. Cope and seethe. The Verge, how to deactivate your Twitter account. They've completely lost it. The Verge did an article on how to delete your Twitter account. Oh my goodness. They don't want you there. All of a sudden, Twitter goes from this, playground for the left to how to delete your Twitter account. If you're tired of, this was from the 14th though. So, but Elon. This is after the Elon stuff broke. If you're tired of doom scrolling. Wow. They're trying to get you off of there. I thought they would self-implode Twitter before selling to him. But no. Here it is. Just 33 minutes ago, Twitter has been sold to Elon Musk and will go private after agreeing to a deal worth $44 billion. He paid a premium for it. It was a fair offer. And he didn't have to go any higher, really. Twitter's too valuable of a resource to leave until there's something better. The ability to monetize instant news, information, and easy accessibility is unmatched. So the Washington Post, in a way, has to go through Elon now. That's a power play. It's a good power play. I'm gonna see if there's any new breaking news here. Bye Felicia was trending. Leaving Twitter was trending. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to read this article here, see if we get any news. First time seeing this article. It says that he agreed to purchase the company. Do we have any details? Oh, wow. So that article about how to delete Twitter came out on the same day of that offer. Oh, wow. So So there's a statement here. Let me see what this is. Oh no, this was that was from back in the day. So Musk laid out a plan. Let's see if they have anything new. I don't see anything new here. Am I missing something? Yeah, I'm not really impressed with that. Maybe I'm skimming too fast, but I didn't see anything that caught my eye there. Is there going to be a press conference or what? So when he said this, when he did this tweet 3 hours ago, that pretty much confirmed it. About 3 hours ago. I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is what free speech means. Now, of course, there's, as we know with the Disney situation, free speech doesn't mean there aren't any consequences. That's where we, 1 million likes, wow. There can be consequences to having free speech. You don't get to keep your job necessarily. You don't get to keep your godlike privileges in a Reedy Creek in Florida. You don't get that. You still have free speech, but you don't get your special privileges. But so I believe it. I believe Elon Musk is not. Doesn't mean that Elon Musk wouldn't, like if you're talking bad about Tesla, he wouldn't do something within his purview to, kind of harm you outside of Twitter. But on Twitter, I think you will have that say so. And getting the bots, that's why the bots are so important. What they do is they bring out the bots to attack whatever subject they want to attack, whether it's Trump, whether it's protect Obama, whether it's protect Biden. The bots have to go. And it affects the trending too. Obama knew the Elon Musk deal was going through when he gave his speech on the internet censorship last week. Do you really think they're just going to let you have free speech back? Jack, why you? We try to party in here, Jack. Don't let the truth interrupt a good party. But let's sober up a little bit. I'm the one drinking piss water. I'm telling y'all to sober up. Let's sober up. Jack's right. Jack's right. This is when you talk about conflict, one person makes a move and another person makes a counter move. What it is, I think the first thing that I'm thinking about is the App Store. The App Store, they could put bots on the account. They could put plants on the account, real people plants, to do threats against anything and say, look, Twitter has all these threats. We didn't care about it before, but now we do. You're banned from the App Store. That's my first questioning here. So when Obama talks about big tech censorship, he can talk about the App Store censoring apps that come through it. And that would be the same thing they did with Parler. So Jeff Bezos would have to go through, in a way, Elon Musk to get his word out on Twitter, like the Washington Post. But then how do you know that Jeff Bezos won't go with, to the other, store companies and all that, like App Store, Google, and say, we got to get rid of Elon. Elon wouldn't be using Bezos' web hosting, but it's still a concern. I'll look in that thread and see. Jack might know something. It's very vague. He said this as a fact, so Jack probably has inside information. I took the Obama speech as a warning not to let Elon buy it. But Jack's saying he knew it at the time, which also makes sense. This is a meme. Memes are back, man. Memes are popping off for real. Mask or Musk? So we'll see if things don't change or get worse. There are platforms like Gab. Yeah, I like the alternative platforms, but this is the major town square. I was never aware Elon and Jack were buddies. I've been aware for a little bit on that. Oh my God, it's Elon holding Prague. Hallelujah. It's going to be harder for them to stop us if Elon makes good on his ownership of this place. The deal could fall through, as Gary Black said. So they could be trying to get you on a high and do something different. Who knows? What's access denied? PSA counter social needs to change the access denied page of Doom. I don't know what that is. Access denied trending. We'll have to see what that is. Welcome Twitter Blue. Come laugh at this thread of Twitter Blue checks. I think it's probably trending because of Twitter Blue checks crying about Elon's purchase. Let me go to the chat and then I'm going to read that story there. See what y'all are saying. Dina Marie says, I canceled my Netflix after they promoted that Cuties movie. That was a line for me. I was disappointed by it. I did not. Well, I've been canceling and re-upping on it. Just like if I'm not using it, I'll cancel it. So I have gone to PureFlix, which has more kind of family-oriented stuff, religious-based stuff, just to support another company. But right now, I don't have Netflix. Netflix in general is nosediving. Yeah, I never liked their model. Even before all this stuff, I never liked their business model. To me, what I saw was they had huge expenses with production expenses and all that stuff to try and find the next hit, the next House of Cards, the next Ozark, the next Squid Games, or whatever is out there. And in between that, you got a lot of busts. So you're spending a lot of money, you get a boost, people binge watch the show, then they cancel the account. They never adapted. I think what they needed to do was consolidation. I don't know if they had the money, I don't know their finances that well, but they needed to buy some other studios, and so they had more control. Because as the market started to get fragmented and other studios started pulling their stuff off Netflix, that Netflix kind of turned into Blockbuster in a sense. Not that bad, but not as much. Stuck. Jim Jordan should be Speaker of the House after Red Wave. Let's talk about that. It's a little early. But I did mention it in another video. I feel weird saying that, but I would agree. Jim Jordan is the choice. You could go with Matt Gaetz. I think with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's still new there. And I think she might be better suited outside of the speaker role. But for sure, Jim Jordan would be one on the short list. Well, that's the first thing we're going to see. It can't be Kevin McCarthy. We know that for sure. I think after the Red Wave, we got to see that. That's going to be the first thing. And when I was blue-pilled, I was never a big Jim Jordan fan. So it is weird for me. I still have to kind of reconcile with that. But without question, I align with him more than anyone. Kevin McCarthy, who was a joke. It's been a hell of a week for Netflix, CNN. These are a lot of white pill moments. Yeah, hell of a week for them. Netflix, they lost, I don't know, like, was it 40 billion in one day or something? Like billions. CNN Plus, failure, while Rogan has gone up higher. Then they tried to take out Rogan. Disney, we know what's happened with Disney. What a disastrous week for Disney. Or was it Disney? I forgot if it was Netflix or Disney that lost 40 billion a day or something. Twitter? Jon Stewart. Oh yeah, Jon Stewart had low ratings. Because he went woke. Jon Stewart's someone who I think he made a lot of great points back in the day. He just went woke. If you want to get a job in Hollywood outside of the Daily Wire, you pretty much have to go woke. I mean, where else do you go? I mean, maybe Fox News would give you a chance. Like, Tulsi's not woke. Fox News interviews her. They have Tucker. I don't like Fox News, but that's the only major outlet. Apple TV is where Jon Stewart was, I believe, or is. You got to be woke. You have no choice. So, Dina, that means a lot to hear people who might be more familiar with Jim Jordan. Now, I've seen him in hearings recently, but I think it's just my hesitancy from being blue-pilled, looking at him in a different light now. But Dina Marie says that she likes Jim Jordan very much. Yeah. There's a reason why they kept him off the committee, because I think wasn't he supposed to be on the J6 committee? Kevin McCarthy nominated him for the J6 committee, and Nancy Pelosi said no. A really bad moment. She picked Republicans, Liz Cheney, Kissinger, that she knew would align with her. Very, very bad moment. Everything woke turns to ish. Donald Trump said it, and it's true. Netflix. So Ray Studio said Netflix lost 50 to 60 billion in a day. My goodness. I think the people have spoken. Time to listen. Netflix. Dina says Netflix lost over 200,000 subscribers in the first quarter. Woo! Something about the model's not working. Now, I will say ESG is a way to bail them out, potentially. Just like with the CARES Act. What happened is BlackRock and Vanguard bought up the debt for, I don't know which companies, I think the top companies, Fortune 500 or so. And then in the CARES package, they got money to get bailed out. They're considered too big to fail, so they can burn their money on anything. The other thing is, I think a company's worth is all relative. So if the value of all these companies is going down, then it's all relative. If Disney goes down below other companies, then it's a problem for Disney. But if they're still at the top when you look at competitors in their lane, then it is what it is. It's just taking market. It's really sucking value out of the market because ESG won't let anyone rise up. That's what's going to be interesting to see what happens with Tesla. Will they let Tesla rise above ESG? They're trying not to, but we'll see. The karma boomerang is real. I truly believe in karma because I believe in the full circle of life and then the yin and the yang. So when you look at both sides of it, that's all karma is. Whether it's not like it's a conscious thing or something from God, it's just, I think, a part of nature. Let's look at this thread here. I'm serious. This is not the B. So it looks like they curated the exact type of posts I want to find on Elon Musk. Journalist Andy Ngo has been busy all morning. He's hunting for the greatest meltdowns. First, we have this Virginia Democrat who is very afraid of Orange Man Bad, returning to Twitter, where he would be free to use all the best words to own the libs and make America great again. Oh, I saw this. So this person on Twitter said, what a Monday morning, the company being sold. Anyone want to take bets on when we can expect Trump back on here? Oh, they're so scared. Why are you so scared of Trump? Don't be scared. The author of White Tears. Wow. Says the quality of his... I've not read that book. It says his quality of life will decrease if Trump is allowed back on. Checks notes. Virtual messaging platform. Hari Konzuru says if Musk buys Twitter and puts Trump back on here, it's really going to reduce my quality of life. Now, I'm a Twitter addict, and if I get to that point, I'm throwing my cell phone out the window. That's insane. Andy Ngo says, so Radio Houston. So a radio host says Twitter won't be a safe place. The host doesn't appear to take issue with Saudi oligarchs owning large shares of the company. And they don't take kindly to the community that he's representing. Let's just say that. Who's this? Is this a Young Turks host? I'm not familiar with Adrian Lawrence. Anyone familiar with that? I don't watch the Young Turks much. I really only know Cenk and Anna. Next, I know they have a lot of other people under their umbrella. Here's the next. There's a Young Turks host that's wondering if there are any leftist billionaires who could create their own big tech platform. Do you think there's another billionaire or tech bro out there? There's a ton of them. They They put all their money in Silicon Valley and Facebook. Speaking of leftist billionaires, here's a journalist who works for Bezos. No matter what new policies Musk sets, there will be gray areas. And it is Twitter's progressive workforce, not Elon Musk, who will be making the calls in those gray areas. That is the most interesting of the tweets that I've seen so far. And that is, I think that is true, especially when it first happens. You'll have to see how this goes. I think Elon Musk is going to try to automate that as much as possible. And who knows, he could, I don't know if they contract that out to other countries or what they do, but he could fire everyone that exists right now. He could just straight up fire everyone who exists right now and say, we got to bring in new people. Isn't that what you would do? Imagine if you took over Twitter and the people who are in charge of moderating, I don't know how the full process works, but the people in charge of moderating when you have to do a human review are all against you. You'd have to fire them all. Yeah. Yep. Ray Studios, Rand Paul should be the Republican leadership in the Senate. I like Rand a lot. I don't know if he has the presence to do that. I don't think he has enough I think in theory that sounds good. But Rand is not Ron. So I don't like Rand as much as his dad. And I know this might not be a popular pick, but I would still pick Ted Cruz. He's the smartest. He knows how things work. He's not a populist, but he listens to the people. Like when he veers off the populist path, people say, no, come on back over here, bruh. And he listens. So I would actually pick Ted Cruz, but Rand Paul, I wouldn't be sad to see him rise up in a little bit of power. Not at all. I'm trying to think who else in the Senate. I got to think about that. Ted Cruz. You could say Josh Hawley, but I think he's a little young. I don't think he has the buy-in from enough people. Ted Cruz has connections, has buy-in. He's already a leader in the Senate. I think he would be the natural one. I haven't looked at the numbers. Ray, have you looked into the details of the midterms? I haven't looked in deep enough to see. Is it possible? It's not possible for a super majority, but is it possible to get like a, in realistic, states to get a majority Republicans? Is that realistic in the Senate? I know the House is going to flip pretty much. The Senate, I don't know. Hopefully we have a midterm. Bishop said Ted Cruz is a populist when his voters are vocal. He never wants to leave politics and has aspirations to become president. Yep. I don't see it. Happening anytime soon, though, because you got DeSantis, you got Trump. Ted Cruz is not going to be able to jump over either one of those. Trump took him out last time. I would actually like to see Ted Cruz on the Supreme Court. I think he would be better off there. He's a constitutional guy, very smart, legal guy. I'm worried about the justice system. It's the last beacon of hope, and if it falls apart, it all falls apart. We had to wait on them on the executive CDC experimental drug mandate. And we had to be like, I hope the Supreme Court has some justice left in them, like real justice, legitimacy. So I would like to see him on the Supreme Court. Yes, DeSantis would crush. I mean, DeSantis is just a beast. I mean, who knows? He could rise up on Trump, to be honest with you. I don't think he will try to do it because that'd be too ugly. But that's how good he is. Oh my gosh, Mitch. Dina Marie with the turtle reference. Either Rand or Ted would be preferable to the turtle in that position now. He's done. Gone. As far as he would never be majority leader again. And I think he would probably retire. Because that would be a tough moment for him. So at this moment, I think Mitch McConnell still thinks he could weasel his way. So Harry, how does it work with majority? I know that the speakers. I know how the speakers voted on, but how do you vote on for the majority on Senate Majority Leader? I don't know. I don't even remember that process. Yeah, I guess I won't. I'll have to look that up. I don't know why I don't remember. Did they vote on it like the House? Yeah, I mean, yeah, Trump regrets endorsing Mitch in 2020. He should. 2020 is when it all started falling down, falling apart. And Trump kind of saw that after the fact. Trump made a lot of mistakes. Don't get me wrong there. And like you said, I'm probably out on Trump. I got to see what's going on with his son-in-law. But I don't like what I see. Taking $2 billion for your asset, your investment firm, from one of the worst, most disgusting, evil leaders in the world, who reportedly is one of your boys now, Prince Salman. I would prefer DeSantis over Trump. I'm going to stop there. I would say in a vacuum, yes. But I don't want a bloody civil war over it, though. Because I want to keep DeSantis here in Florida for a full second term. Oh, you're saying you want Trump over DeSantis? Yeah, I that's a legitimate take. Yeah, well, it's a legitimate take. The one thing that I started to think about recently, somebody brought it up on Twitter. I don't know why I never thought about it, is Trump only would get 4 years, max. So if DeSantis became president, you would get potentially 2 terms. That's a pretty big deal, considering, you want to stretch it out as long as possible, because 2028 could be a completely, what year we're in, 2022 now. You're looking at 2028. Somebody who's indoctrinated, in school right now, who's like 12 years old, they're going to be able to vote in 2028. And they're going to be told DeSantis is a racist and everything else. So I would rather have DeSantis as an incumbent who would have the momentum. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to have DeSantis in that one. But I don't want it would have to be Trump gracefully bowing out. You cannot have a bloody civil war between those two. It just cannot happen. People, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene or Matt Gaetz was talking bad about Kevin McCarthy, and people on the left don't even understand what's happening on the right. They said, oh, let's let them fight. Let's eat popcorn. That's irrelevant. Nobody cares about attacking Kevin McCarthy. He's done. If you had DeSantis versus Trump, that would be a problem. Can't have that. Under no circumstances can that happen. So let's see here. Ray says DeSantis is basically a younger version of Trump. Only difference is DeSantis watches what he says. I agree, but I will say DeSantis is, I think he's probably a better suited political executive than Trump. Like the way that DeSantis lays out his chess pieces of people around him, Trump didn't come close to that. So I think if you put DeSantis in the swamp, DeSantis will have the right people around him to kind of navigate. Well, it's going to be hard, but he'll do a better job than Trump did. That was one of Trump's biggest issues. And I know we're a little bit off topic, but we were celebrating the Elon Musk stuff. We'll talk about breaking news as it comes in, but all this stuff is related. All of it is related. This affects the midterms and everything. If Twitter doesn't affect the midterms, then why would they ban the story of Hunter Biden in 2020? Because they think it affects things. So yeah, I think DeSantis has a lot more positives in him than Trump, but Trump has that wild card joker in him that allowed him to break down the doors of the GOP. So yeah. Ray Studio says, I feel DeSantis can do more as Florida governor than president right now. Trump is needed for, I think that's a fair point, Ray. Yeah. So it's like two sides. At this point, I side with this comment from Ray. But, I've been kind of waffling. I've been kind of like looking over, You know, like maybe you go to dinner. I do this to my wife all the time. She hates this. We go to a dinner or something like that. I order my food. She orders her food. The food comes out, and I look at my food, and I look at her food. I'm like, I don't know which one. Can I have some of your food? So I'm saying, like, I'm like, okay, I want Trump, but then I'm looking at DeSantis. Like every time you pass a bill, I'm like, do I really want Trump? Like, how bad do I want Trump? And I'm like, DeSantis could get 2 terms. So I'm kind of torn, man. It's weird. But as of right now, I'm on Trump. Dina Marie says, one thing I absolutely love about DeSantis, after his active duty, he was a prosecutor who targeted and prosecuted child offenders. I didn't know that part. Thank you for that. Yeah, I knew he was a lawyer, right? When he served like as a legal person, right? So yeah. He's when you look at him in Florida, doesn't he just look like a CEO? Like I'm an executive. I've got this under control. What happened with Trump is, I was just listening to an episode of Joe Rogan. I might even play this. I might even look it up and play it because it was so good. It was Alex Jones on with Joe Rogan. And Alex Jones is, I hate how people, man. I already talked about it in this live. I hate when people try to discredit Alex Jones like he's some idiot. The dude is really incredibly smart. I mean, he's got like an incredible recall, photographic memory, basically. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, here it is. It's the one where Rogan went on with Alex Jones and Tim Dillon. You remember that episode? It was a good episode, too. See if I can put my headphones in and listen through the computer. I want to bring this up. We're celebrating Elon Musk. Got a little bit off topic here, but I'm very interested in, we're talking about Trump versus DeSantis. It's a fascinating, fun political conversation. And, in a way, I think that's fair to say. I'm going to bring up this interview here, because I think I have it almost at the right spot. I was just listening to it yesterday. You got to listen to this if you haven't seen this episode. It's Joe Rogan with Alex Jones.
As the money laundering op. It's not the Ukrainians running us.
Right.
They use it as that. But let's expand on this, Joe. What I'm getting at here is, I didn't bring up AT&T. They're a good company overall. They're not the ones censoring and stuff. Okay? It's the big tech.
Let me listen a little bit and I'll find it.
The reason I raised that was just the one that popped in my head, the first one. It's massive what's going on. I was just being honest that Trump's tried
only
to...
a couple $100,000. Like, I mean, as much as that...
Yep, this is right. It's right before this. Let me play this. What they're going to talk about is Trump came to the swamp. And Trump was like, I got to get rid of these lobbyists. And I don't want to take money from all these people, even people I'm cool with. Because if I take money from them, then I'm beholden to them. I got to be in touch with the people. So Trump comes in, he's like, I don't want any lobbyists. Don't come to me with any lobbyists. And what happened? It turned his damn family into lobbyists. So I don't know what the answer is, but it's a great topic for discussion.
Consultants, a shell company set up by Cohen before the election to pay
everyone around him a lobbyist.
Here we go. Right
Finally,
here.
where it's like, yeah, I need 30 million. Part of it goes to the big guy. And they're like, okay, we want to meet with your dad. And there's photos of them meeting and playing golf. So let me tell you, this is real. The FBI has the files. They admit it's real. It's a big deal.
But it's a real problem to ban this stuff from Twitter. Putin rejects Donald Trump's criticism of Biden family business. Well, because it's Russia's bribing Hunter Biden.
3.5 million through Putin, through the Moscow mayor who he's friends with, to Hunter Biden again.
Well,
so they were talking about Hunter Biden, obviously, and still pertinent to this day. This was like 6 months ago. This was like October 20, way more than that. It was October 2020.
If I was Putin, I would deny it too. Listen, Putin has got to love this. If I was Putin sitting back, watching these fucking people eat themselves alive and destroy the First Amendment, destroy democracy,
it's great.
I'm sure they have a hand in it. I'm sure China has a hand in it. I'm sure Iran has a hand in it. This is what the intelligence communities have been telling us for a long time now, is that it's not just one foreign company or foreign country that's trying to fuck with our democracy. It's multiple.
The idea that the Russians have a monopoly on this.
No.
I mean, if the Russians were an NFL football team, they'd be like in the lower third.
And by
the U.S. and China are the top teams.
Right. And we should say the United States does it too.
Sure.
It's 100% confirmed.
The idea that Russians got Trump in is asinine, because here's what happens. Notice they tried to impeach Trump just 9 months ago for stuff in Ukraine, because whatever they are worried about, they project. Okay? So Trump doesn't have Russia connections. Trump doesn't have those connections. Trump doesn't.
This was in 2020 they were talking about this like this. I mean, it's almost like Alex Jones knew what was going to happen. This was in October of 2020 they had this discussion.
Have those outside connections. You can't buy him. He doesn't have lobbyists. The problem is he then has family and people around him that basically become lobbyists for themselves, and Trump isn't really even aware of it, and then that's going on. And I mean, even junior aides now, you'll find out, have people giving them millions of dollars.
I mean, you wonder why Alex Jones is banned everywhere? Listen to this. Was October of 2020 he broke down Trump. I listened to a lot of stuff. I haven't heard people break it down like this. He didn't know about the Kushner deal at this point. I mean, it's just absolutely based. A completely based discussion. That's exactly what happened with Trump. He came into the swamp. That is the tragedy of Trump. I'm not blaming Trump really for that. So the reason why I say I might not vote for him in 2024 is because he's got to make an adjustment here. I don't know what it looks like. It's got to be acknowledged. It's a problem, and what the adjustment is. You have a guy who's not a career politician. He gets carried in on the wave of the people. He gets into this swamp. All these staffers and everybody in Congress is against him on the red and blue team. So he's like, I could barely surround myself with I can't trust anybody. I got to have my family, Ivanka and Jared and other people around me I can trust. So you understand that. Then he's like, I don't want lobbyists. I understand that. He's like, the lobbyists, they just conflate things, and now I got to be beholden to your thing and that thing, and then I get away from the people. But then the negative side is his family can become lobbyists. So the problem with Trump is he had to check his own son-in-law. I know Jared did some good things, even though I'm not a big Jared fan. He had the Abraham Accord, I think in general was a good thing. I don't know anybody. People might say it wasn't as big as they made it out to be, but if you're being objective, it wasn't a bad thing. The Middle East peace type of stuff. So this is what happened
in Ukraine, because whatever they are worried about, they project. Okay, so Trump doesn't have Russia connections. Trump doesn't have those connections. Trump doesn't have those outside connections. You can't buy him. He doesn't have lobbyists. The problem is he then has family and people around him that basically become lobbyists for themselves, and Trump isn't really even aware of it, and then that's going on. And I mean, even junior aides now, you'll find out, have people giving them millions of dollars just to say something to the president.
Is this standard shit? Is this just how politics have always been done? It's just that now we're seeing it?
Well, it was standard, let's say 200 years ago, that you'd go out for the wife or the brother or somebody that works at the White House. It got organized the last 100 years with lobbyists. Trump literally cut the lobbyist off. But all it did was now make everyone around him a lobbyist, even though they're not officially a lobbyist.
How did he cut the lobbyists off?
He just stopped meeting with them and just said, I want briefings on what's going on, I'll decide. So that's why he pissed official Washington off. Not that he's even perfect, but that he actually became the president, sort of making decisions himself instead of...
So when Trump comes in, sorry, I think I fixed the audio. When Trump comes in and he cuts off the lobbyist, why do you think everybody hates him so much? It's like we got to gin up the media and everyone, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. These people, we can't control them like we used to. So we got to make them the most racist, crazy, ridiculous people ever, so that if someone like myself says, oh, I kind of like what Trump's saying or Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, you sound like a fool. That's their whole goal. They didn't like what Trump came in and did. And the downside was, though, his family became the lobbyists.
instead of having consortiums and lobbyists pay him for policy. That's why he says, Biden's raised more money than me. Of course, I can call up all these companies. They'll give me any money I want, but I got to do what they say.
But it would put
Trump said that too. Alex is 100% right. Trump was like, hey, I could raise way more money than Biden. Are you serious? But if I do that, then I lose the whole purpose why I got, I rose to power.
It would put him in a compromised position.
Yes, but I'm being honest about it. The vacuum and the blind spot is that then everyone around him in his cabinet and everyone that works there, even down to mid-level people, are now getting multi-million-dollar contracts for companies like AT&T and stuff just to even mention something to the president.
But hold up, before you...
Yeah, so that's it. That's all I wanted to show there. That's exactly, and people try to make Alex Jones out to be some MAGA. Alex Jones was never MAGA. He was never like a MAGA dude. He just called the shots. He was never a Republican dude. He just called the shots how they were, saw some of the same things that I liked about Trump and Bannon, and said, hey, this is good. He's trying to do some different stuff. He's not perfect, but damn, nobody's perfect. So I got off. Yeah, thanks. I messed up the audio. When I put my headbuds in, it turned the headbuds into the mic. So sorry about that. But yeah, we're off track. We're having, if you're just joining, come on through, stop on by, just pop in a little bit, some little bottles here, Monster. And Elon Musk looks like he's made that move. Looks to be official. I haven't seen, is it announced yet? Alex Jones is trending on Twitter as I go to Twitter right now. So this is just breaking news, developing story. Alex Jones trending on Twitter. Why? I feel like they could do a better job of telling you why. And why is it when I click on Alex Jones, I get something that's completely unrelated? That's weird. So Cassandra McDonald, one of my favorite follows, she is just great. She says, Gateway Pundit, did they get banned? Because she writes for Gateway Pundit. Wow, I didn't know they got banned. Gateway Pundit, Alex Jones, Project Veritas. Yeah, of course. How could I forget Project Veritas? Man, them alone is a game changer. The stories that they break and all that. Just bring back effing everyone. Make Twitter funny again. So this thread here is, what are your favorite accounts that got banned? Somebody tell me, what if you're a Twitter person, what are your favorite accounts that got banned? I'm trying to see. Yeah, I don't see any names in here. I do think everyone who got banned, I really do think that he should do pretty much open it back up to everyone to start. Lay out what the rules are. And everyone, no matter what you got banned for, everyone comes back and then you filter out from there. But that's going to be a very big moment when he announces that kind of stuff. Oh, it's at 2 p.m. Pacific. Breaking news. Twitter CEO to address employees at 2 p.m. I hope they live stream that. To address employees at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Wow. So that's a couple hours from, well, no, it's an hour from now, right? Wait, where am I at? No, that's an hour from now. Because right now I'm in Mountain. It's 2 Mountain, hour back. So about an hour from now, Twitter CEO, I assume he's talking about Parag Agrawal, to address there might be some tears. This might be like the Hillary. Remember when Hillary lost? It might be kind of like that. And remember how important that was to cause the domino effect of everything that's happening in the world right now. To me, triggered from that moment, we're going to have another moment like that. This is more important than the politics. Way more important than like a president or anything. Controlling information. Now, don't get me wrong. I've said it many times. Elon's number one goal is to get to Mars. His number one goal is not free speech. He wants free speech, and he believes Elon Musk has not spent any advertising in America on Twitter, on Tesla. He believes in a free speech environment. his products are so good, they will succeed. He won't need to trick the algorithm to boost them up. My electric car is better than y'all's. And if it's not better than y'all's, I will make it better than y'all's. So that's why he's okay with free speech. And I think he's just a natural, more libertarian. People are kind of hinting like he's right-wing. No, he's more of a libertarian. He has his own views on like a republic, but I think he views that people should be able to do their own thing in their own tribes. He's not for centralized power, in my opinion. Some people might think that goes against the idea of Neuralink and all that. I don't think he's doing Neuralink to make it a centralized power. That could happen. The danger of Elon Musk's companies is, what if Elon Musk is not here anymore? Who takes over and what's their vision? But his vision is not centralized power. Lincoln Ford says Parag better start his job search. I would fire everyone at Twitter and start from scratch. They better save all the documents about colluding with the government. Yep. They better get that shredder going. I think they might. I don't know if they can or not, but I have a feeling there's going to be a non-disclosure agreement with Elon Musk to say you can't talk about anything before this date. That's what you would do, right? If you were hiding stuff in Twitter and you were like, damn, I got to sell to Elon, I still can't believe that's happening. You would say, Elon, you're going to see some things, just going to be honest with you, like you thought, you probably already knew. If you find out about anything about our company before this date and you tell anybody about it, this happens. I'm just speculating. I don't know if that's legal or not, but that's what I would expect to have happen. If that doesn't happen, Elon needs to tell us everything he finds out. The neoliberal left are already screaming how now Twitter will become platform for fascist, white supremacists, national MAGA, etc., the usual BS. Yes, because everything they disagree with is now right-wing. I don't even know how they use the word fascist. So they said Elon is a fascist. Okay, well, who is Biden a fascist? Is Obama a fascist? I mean, yeah, more white supremacy. Just a very,
here's what I found on the web.
A very rudimentary take. Ray Studio says TV spying on you, frauds turning gay, elite sex traffickers, Bohemian Grove, silver iodide, using baby. Yeah, things that Alex Jones got right. He got a lot right, and he's a critical thinker. He got some things wrong. So what? We need to be wrong. If you're not wrong, you're not thinking hard enough. You're not testing yourself to the limit. If you're right, if you take a test and everything's 100%, 100%, 100%, then you need to stretch your expansion of your knowledge. You're past the 101 course. You need the second level course or the next level course. I don't know how I'm going to be hanging out for a while. It's just one of those days. I actually texted my wife. I said, I don't know how long I'll be down here in the basement. It'll be a minute. Appreciate you. No, I really do appreciate my wife. What's going on here? Zero Hedge says, I don't know what this is. Reading it for the first time. Twitter news coincided with burst of predictive activity on who will win the midterms, almost as if Twitter controls the outcome. What is this? I don't know what I'm looking at here. So you've got a graph. Let me remove the comment. So you got a graph here from Zero Hedge. What will be the balance of power in Congress after the 2022 election? And it's looking at the House, Senate, Republicans. Oh, it's looking at, wow. Oh, so he wasn't saying predictive. It was predicted. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look that up. So it's saying that basically since the news broke of Elon Musk, this is what we've basically been talking about the whole live. Since the news came out about Elon Musk, the balance of power in Congress has skyrocketed towards Republicans is what this is saying. I don't know what predicted. How do they base this? Predicted is balance of power. Oh, I think this is the website I went to before a while back. Let me show that in the screen share here. Predicted is the website. Predicted.org. Balance of power after 2022. Who will control the Senate after 2022? Oh, this is fun. Fun stuff here. Who will control the Senate? Oh, they kind of do it like shares traded. That's cool. So it's saying 79% Republican, 24. Wow. I was just asking Ray and everybody else. I was just asking about that. I know the chances of the House were crazy. So we're looking at the chances of the House at 87% over here. Went down a little bit. Oh, I don't know what that means. 87% is how I interpret that. Wait, yeah, it can't be percentage because it's a little bit over. I don't know what that means. But 87 to 14. But the Senate, wow. That's surprising. I didn't know. It's not going to be a super majority. That would be crazy. Now, what you could do is, let's say we have a midterm. Let's say we get these, the Republicans get the control, and it's driven by a populist red wave. You could have in 2024 the possibility of a supermajority. Now, you could look at DeSantis again in 2024, and DeSantis all he would have to say is, I've had a supermajority in Florida, and I got this, everything from parental rights to stopping wokeism to I liked the law. A lot of people didn't. The law where, protesting, you don't have the right of way. All those little things, I put Disney in check, all that kind of stuff. And he could say, hey, you give me the federal power, I'll do that same thing for all y'all. It's a strong, Trump, Trump can't really say that. Balance of power. What the? Oh my gosh. Who will be the next speaker in Congress? Y'all crazy. Kevin McCarthy. Steve Scalise? Man, get the hell out of here. I like Steve Scalise more than Kevin McCarthy, but that doesn't make any sense. I would not be happy with that. That's for sure. But baby steps. We'll see. Because I'm not, it sounds like I'm rooting for Republicans. No, I'm rooting for America First candidates. The real ones. Senate Majority Leader, maybe they just don't have the vision of who else it could be, but it can't be Mitch McConnell. Just can't be. GOP Senate seats. Oh, okay, so people think they're going to get about 53 seats. That's pretty good. It's pretty good as long as it's a populist red wave that drives it. It's an interesting website here. So they're saying that it's going to be more likely that you see Republicans in office with Elon Musk having control of Twitter. Wow. Powerful, powerful tweet right here. If it's true. I mean, it's just projections, but yeah. There's going to be a lot of attacks because these people will do anything to keep their jobs and power. Eric Weinstein. He says, let's see what he says here. I'm excited to see what happens next. Here's to the future. Cheers. But one request for Elon Musk. Can you use Twitter logs to show us how our communications were manipulated? Me and Eric, we've seen eye to eye here. He's saying in a much more eloquent fashion what I've been saying. And I don't want to look backwards, but I want to learn from the past. Historically, it's important for us to know what happened. So when we go looking forward, because there's things that could have been happening in the past that we don't know about, that we don't know how to check our politicians to give us protections for going forward in the future. Absolutely. Fire thread here. And I've gone back and forth with I've really gone back and forth here with Eric. I like his brother Brett a lot more, but we align sometimes. It's weird. Like when we align, like we really align on the same thing. Like we really kind of are on the same page. And maybe he's very smart dude. So maybe it's maybe it's me not understanding. So I want to make that clear. But this is an important point. Eric Weinstein says, I want to see who was shadow banned, who was targeted by bots, how the algorithm limited or propped up our search, why we were throttled, etc. I want to see that too, Eric. I want to see that too. And not to go backwards, to look forward. It's very important. Eric Weinstein, I will say, I'm going to reply to him. If we don't get leaks on this info, then there was some type of agreement made. And I think that's part of the details they might be hashing out. As excited as I am for a different future, I want to know how Twitter was previously used behind the scenes to get us into this mess. Absolutely. And it should be, Congress should be exposing that. Especially if there's a populist wave. Okay, somebody says, I do not believe that will be wise. Free speech by its very nature allows for the best ideas to come to the top. Going witch hunting would be utterly counterproductive. I don't understand. He didn't say anything about a witch hunt. He just said, I want to know what happened. See, this person here jumped ahead. You can tell this person knows shady stuff happened. They don't know, but they strongly believe shady stuff happened in the past. Very similar to 2020. YouTube, I'm not questioning anything. I'm not going to question anything. Joe Biden is our president. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, some people say, hey, I don't know what happened here. And they don't want to look back because they know something doesn't smell right. That's what he's doing. He just can't come. Is this the cognitive dissonance again that we talked about with Jenna Ellis? He clearly thinks something was wrong. That's why he said witch hunting. Bro, we're not witch hunting. We want to protect, well, I'll speak for myself. I want to protect things going forward. Who knows? There might be some witches to hunt. That's not my focus, but there might be. Who knows? But he didn't say anything about witch hunting. You just told on yourself. Thank you for speaking up, Eric. Really good. Sometimes Eric gets on my nerves. Sometimes he's so good. Scott Adams gets on my nerves too, man. I knew he was going to jump on this Jenna Ellis garbage. He jumped onto it. I like Dr. Karlin Borisenko. She's great, but she jumped on it too. And I think she's the best of the people who jumped on the Jenna Ellis stuff. She's the best because I don't hear her making too much of a legal argument. She's talking about morally. Was it the right thing to do with the Disney stuff? So let's look. Yeah, Hispanics are fleeing the Democrat Party. They don't align typically with the very liberal, anti-religious stance that they're taking. So I don't know. My understanding is they think that illegal immigrants will vote for them, though, which not all of them are coming from Mexico, but a lot of them are. So I don't know. I still think they feel like at least the legal immigrants will go on their side at some point. Remember when Twitter banned Brett Weinstein Unity 2020 account? Yeah, that was one of those red pill. You already got the red pill, and then you had some more red pill moments. Yep, that was one of those. Ray for sure, and Democrats had just established a stronghold too. They lost due to pushing wokeness in education. Yep. And it makes you wonder why they're still pushing it. That's why I'm really worried about, is there going to be a midterm? Because it doesn't make sense to push for stuff you know is not popular. It just doesn't make any sense. Glad for that tweet. Section 230 is coming up. Section 230 is a complicated one. I don't know if I have a full answer specifically on Section 230. So that's why I haven't really done a video on that, because it's a very, like if you do Section 230 reform, you could actually damage things a lot if you don't do it right. If Elon Musk buys Twitter, here are some, this is from 7 hours ago, but how Twitter is rooted in white supremacy. I guarantee you that will come. Twitter, the Bird app, is now the misinformation app. That's already here, I think. Elon Musk ushers in Trumpism for the conservative base. Why repealing Section 230 is now necessary. They wouldn't do that because it would also affect Facebook, so I don't know how they would do it to just affect, for example, Twitter. We'll short Twitter. Well, they took Twitter off. You can't trade Twitter right now. Eric July did a video, huh? Let me go see what Eric July's talking about.
We've been keeping up with this story, and I'm going to explain time and time again why it's important. It has nothing to do with whether you like or trust Elon Musk. That's particularly irrelevant to the point, and I'll explain why again if you watch my previous.
I agree 100%. Whether you trust Elon or not is irrelevant at this point. He's coming in. He's different. He's buying it. I'm going to a different place, and I've heard him talk about this a lot. I'm going to a different place than where he's going on this. I haven't heard this video, but give it a chance and see. I don't care who it is. If you're off, I'm going to say that doesn't look right to me, bro. So who cares if I trust Elon or not at this point? Let's see what he does. Eric July is that dude, period. Amazing dude.
Previous videos on this topic, you already know that. But apparently, as of this morning, report Twitter is set to accept Elon Musk's $43 billion offer to buy the platform. Now, keep in mind, we're going to read through this a little bit, but keep in mind, you got to understand, he overpaid. Like, this is something that he really, really wanted. And he gave them basically an offer that they could not refuse. Simple as that. It looks like,
I will say, he overpaid, market value. You have to overpay to, buy out a company, but the value of Twitter, I think we could look down the road 10 years and think it's peanuts right now.
It looks like Elon will finally own Twitter. Reuters reported that Twitter is poised to agree to sell Musk for what the Tesla SpaceX CEO called his best and final offer of $43 billion. Musk's offer includes purchasing outstanding shares of Twitter stock for $54.20. Like, it's overpaying. You might as well cash out. Simple as that. Twitter is expected to announce an agreement on the deal on Monday, which is today. I don't know if it's been done by the time you've seen this video. Maybe, I don't know. Twitter, but once its board has met to formally recommend the transaction to the company shareholders. However, it does remain possible that the deal could collapse at the last minute. Musk is reportedly negotiating to buy Twitter in a personal capacity, none other than the companies under his control. None of the companies under his control are involved in the deal. So this isn't a Tesla fusion or anything like that. Twitter has been unable to secure a go shop provision under its agreement with Musk that would allow the company to solicit other bids once the deal with Musk is signed. But Twitter would be still allowed to accept offers from other parties by paying Musk a breakup fee for breaking the agreement. Twitter shares were up 4.5% pre-market trading, selling for $51.15 a share in New York on Monday. Musk has expressed his interest in buying Twitter and taking the company private to grow it so that it become a platform that truly embraces the principles of what they deem as free speech. This is all, of course, what we had covered before. You guys have seen this. This was around the same time he actually, publicly, basically, it was announced that he was interested in buying it. Over there, he had a clear and obvious poll that was slanted one way about the principles that Twitter adhere to. And he obviously had been posting some criticism in terms of how it was operating and what the things that it did and all of that. He clearly has his own interest in it. I think a lot of this also stemmed from his kind of beef with the SEC and how basically they had to vet all of his, because of his power, essentially had to vet all of his tweets. It was like, that's just stuff that he didn't want to deal with. So I think he was just one of those, it was a Bruce Wayne type of situation. Like, y'all get at me. Okay, I don't like this. I'm fucking gonna buy the bitch. And I think that was certainly what this is. Now, look, a lot of people are going to, because everybody wants to make the hot take. Well, I don't trust Elon. Who cares? If you trust Elon, it doesn't matter if you think he's not. I'm not sitting there certainly pretending like he's on my side of the aisle. He ain't no fucking anarcho-capitalist. All I'm saying is this. When you look at who he makes mad, this is important. You look at who he's pissed off, this is very important. He has, if you look at Twitter right now, there's a lot of you guys that watch my material that aren't on Twitter. If you look on Twitter right now, though, and you on there fairly regularly, you see a lot of the weird blue check marks. You see a lot of the social justice left are fucking irate. They're making very stupid statements because they look at it like it was a great benefit to them and probably one of their greatest accomplishments when they were able to pimp social media sites into basically becoming their acting on their behalf, the authoritarian left. And it was all in the name of what they deemed as moderation. Okay. So they made a lot of strides in the moderation space with really a lot of the social media, the popular, prominent social media website, Twitter's, of course, being one of them. What they think that he is someone that's going to come in. Whether he does this or not is a completely different, it doesn't matter, because look at how they're reacting.
Well, I will disagree a little bit there. The only thing that matters is what Elon Musk does with the platform, for me. If he doesn't accomplish the goal of making it as close to Gab as possible, then he's failed. So I'm a little bit in disagreement there. But it is important what has happened up to this point. Even if the deal falls apart right now and we have a pity party, I think what he's done up to this point to expose things and to really get people rallied around this type of movement is important.
They think that he is going to then change the platform maybe back to Twitter of old, where you can basically say whatever the hell you want to on there, as long as it wasn't like something particularly egregious. You can say whatever you want. Wasn't any fucking, oh, well, you said something that we disagree with, therefore we're going to have our fact checkers put a little notification.
I haven't thought about the fact checkers. It's a good point. What are we doing? What is he going to do with that? They should have, obviously free speech to say what they want. But if you look at the right side of Twitter, that's an editorial page. The right side column, if you're on the website, is editorial. And they just fact checked the other day. They said Bill Gates, basically paraphrasing, Bill Gates' man boobs weren't as big as you thought in this video. They were clearly digitally augmented. But the first video that came out that made him look kind of sloppy, that one was real. So they did somewhat of a straw man to go to another one that hadn't gotten as many views and to say that was a fact check false. So but my point is, does that get put on the right side? Who chooses that? So there still might be some editorial part of this. I don't think Elon will choose those stupid fact checks, though. That's for sure.
Under your post, and you're not going to be able to have it retweeted. Like none of that goofy shit, which basically is a way to use.
Another good question. If I post something about the 2020 or the pandemic, am I going to get one of these little, oh, be careful, this is a crazy thing? Would that happen? That's another good point to review and to see. I don't think so. I think all that's gone. Maybe there might be a general kind of notification or disclaimer or warning, but I don't think there's going to be anything that will pop up on specific threads.
The platform to funnel what people deem as the righteous, just information, which it couldn't be anything further from the truth, but you're not allowed now as dialogue to exist. I get it. Look, with a site like Twitter, yeah, it's a lot of troll and shit posting and all of that. But it does do well. It's one of actually the better sites in that it has two functions that are, I think, useful. One, people using blocking. I don't block. Mute button, I use that shit all the time, particularly for phrases. So when I get on Twitter and I see y'all talking about shit that I'm not interested in, I will go on there, use mute words, and then I won't see it on my.
That is a very simpleton algorithm control. I'm hoping for even better control than that. The downside might be we could get more silos. It's possible.
It on my fucking timeline. It's great. It's fucking fantastic. But because those exist, this idea that Twitter itself as the platform needs to run this sort of interference and people that are bad actors and all of that, they got to keep you away from them. Like, nah, you can do that yourself. They've given you the tools to do that. But they don't like this. All this is about is information control. That's it. Narrative control more than anything. Less about information, more about narrative control. There's a particular opinion that is acceptable, a position that is acceptable, and they have to make that look as legitimate as possible. They do it through ways, through the algorithm. They do it through the fake trending topics. Twitter does it, of course, through the moderation, which they made great strides, and especially COVID gave them out for that. So election stuff. Well, this is misleading. Our experts say that this is false. Fact check this type of stuff.
The stuff that's going on right to this day and happened right after 2020, at the end of 2020, is the most of my lifetime, the most dangerous. I think it was even more dangerous than the pandemic information control. What happened at the end of 2020 to not allow people to openly talk about it is one of the, to me, is the most dangerous control of information that's happened on a mass level since I've been alive. And hopefully Elon changes that whole thing. And I think people will FUD to Twitter, and who knows if it affects other platforms too.
Stuff. The fact that they might lose that is enough to freak them out. And if you are a guy that isn't a leftist, you have to remember that you should pay attention to this. Reason being is because you're seeing people tell on themselves. Some of you already knew that, and that's great. But the left gets political power through culture. They don't get political power through just ideas, obviously. It's more of culture. So they, through narrative control, they through what is deemed as acceptable to talk about, those using cultural aspects, right? Twitter's, social media, to then make it seem like they are the correct ones and they're the only ones that can be correct. They understand the authoritarian. Like, why, if you wonder like why are these people who this doesn't seem to impact, why are they freaking out so much? It's because it does impact them. It does. Why? Because they think, and let's just for the sake of conversation, assume it to be true. They know that they have lost a significant amount of power. If Elon comes back and say, basically, all right, this is Twitter of old. You can say whatever you want. Just don't go fucking saying so shit that's so foul. You can't be advocating like against actual, advocating for actual crimes. You know what I mean? Not like what the state deems a crime, like stuff with victims, murder, theft, all that stuff. You can't be doing stuff like that. And yeah, aside from that, go have at it. If that happens, they have lost so much power just through that one platform that they had, though it's perceived, they lost that. If that happens. So they're going to fight like hell to protect it, but they're freaking out and they're going to say, well, it's about Nazism and white supremacy, all the usual buzz terms and bingo fucking cards and your checklist. They're documenting all of that because this is a hell fucking Mary. Just because of who it makes mad is something worth paying attention to.
Yes, sir. Young Eric July, that's my dude. I don't have much to add. I am going to be a little bit petty with Eric because he has said in the past, Twitter's not important. I would like him to clarify that because that's one of the things I have disagreed with him on. I think Twitter is immensely important. And I don't know if he's changed his position on that. You know what I like? Dina Marie says, I like Eric July. What I like about him is he is an ANCAP libertarian. He's not the Constitution. He would prefer to wipe his ass with the Constitution rather than talk about it, which is perfectly fine. But the thing is, you can disagree with him and everything's okay. And you can play Mario Kart or Sifu or whatever video game he's playing or talk about a comic book. The next step. That's really all I want from the bootlicking left. I'm not even asking for a lot. I'm just like, can we disagree and then just go on with our lives? Like, why do you have to try to get laws passed to make me do stuff? Like, why can't we just disagree and live our lives? Libertarians let you do that. True libertarians. Casual Goats came through from the Amber Heard stuff. I haven't been keeping up. I've seen some of the stories, the bigger stories of it. Saw some of Depp's testimony. Are they on Amber yet? I was kind of interested to see what she had to say. But yeah, that's a crazy thing. I might be crazy, but I look at what's happening in our country. There's a video that just surfaced recently on Twitter, and showed a young child doing stuff that some people thought was terrible and other people thought it was something to celebrate. And it made me think about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Are we in a marriage right now that's as toxic as theirs was? Are we in that situation? Because obviously Amber Heard and Johnny Depp shouldn't have been together with all this stuff that was going back and forth and this abuse, and it kind of feels like our country. So no, I haven't seen too much of it. Rekieta Law, if you don't know about LawTube, Rekieta Law is all over it. I listen to him at night often. He does late night streams. He does these epic. He is such a good kind of performer, and like, I don't want to say a performer, but he's just so entertaining, man. To do what he does is not easy. He is hilarious. Rekieta Law. He just admitted it. What's this? Casual Goat says, got to catch up with class. A lot of music. Good seeing y'all. Thank you for stopping by. Friend of show, Casual Goats. See you in Discord. If you want to stop by the Discord, I'll put it in the chat here real quick. This where we'll continue the conversations. And I have a multitude of channels, so sometimes I will post things from other channels. I'll show the Discord here real quick. I'll put the link in the chat. The Discord was actually Casual Goat's idea to do the Discord. So let me see if I can get in there. Oh, I just did the invite. Let me actually get in there. So this is the Discord right here. So we just got a general politics, music. Casual Goats just posted this yesterday. Florida politics just hit different. Ford Fisher tweeted, a man wearing a shirt reading "Trump was robbed." I'm just reading that to YouTube. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm just reading this thing here. I don't believe in that. Joe Biden is my God, president, all that. While carrying a hybrid LGBT pride Confederate battle flag. So just stupid stuff like that. I do have a channel where I just put my video, so you don't have to subscribe to every channel. So this one is on a different channel where I talked about incident in a high school in Locust Grove, Henry, Georgia, where a girl used the N-word against a boy, two high school students. And the boy physically assaulted her with a slap. And there were black men, grown-ass men, condoning it, even saying that the boy acted in self-defense. And we have the video. It was not self-defense. Using the N-word, getting the N-word used against you was not self-defense. So I had a little video on that. So stop on by if you want. Excellent stuff. Almost here. The press conference is going to be coming out soon. I'm just going to be chilling. If you got to go, thanks for stopping by. I'm just going to be on here until I'm not on here. It's that big of a deal. Trending in the United States, Donald J. Trump. I wonder why. I wonder why. Oh, is this? No, this is probably a fake account. Somebody said Donald Trump. Let's see here. Oh, this was old. Yeah, I saw this. Donald Trump was definitely more friendly to Elon Musk than President Biden. Wow, the noise got big. I didn't think it was going to be this much discussion about Trump coming back on, because when Elon announced that he bought just the 9.2%, people had, I was talking about it. So I thought people might be like, wore out about it. But no, they're for real about it now. Wow. A big push to get Trump back on. Got to be patient, y'all. So Trump was held in civil contempt for not turning over certain documents. What they're doing with these court cases is trying to suck the resources out of any populist right candidate. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Gosar, Madison Cawthorn, Trump, in non-politicians, Bannon, Jones, even though he's not MAGA, Posevec. They're trying to get these people to have to spend money on lawyers, spend time, get stressed out with this kind of stuff to take them off of, what they can do to affect culture and politics. And they got to do it quickly, because at least from the federal level, it looks like it's all over by the end of this year. Trump's first tweet back is going to break the internet. I really think he's going to come back, and I seriously think he's going to come back and be like, I'm back, bitches. I think he's going to say something crazy like that. I really do. Because you're back. Not only are you back, Elon would be in charge, and you could say how you feel. I think he's going to cuss in his first tweet back. Or he could say something like, miss me. So this is the article. So Reddit is trending. I wonder why. Reddit officially launches its community funds program. Okay. Reddit is a really good site. I don't go on it that much, though. Anybody go on Reddit a lot? It really became more of a censorship site. There used to be a great Trump group on there, MAGA group. They had good discussion that got banned. Now the best groups are on Gab, to me, where you can have free discussion. A lot of people might not want to go there because you're going to see the N-word. You're going to see a lot of stuff. I don't know who did this meme, but it's a really good meme, because the Twitter is in 3D, so they even did that. That was good. I'm going to skip over that because I don't have protections on YouTube about talking about Fauci. I've got to really watch my words with Fauci. So there's a cartoon about Elon Musk. Public service announcement. The right to free speech means the government can't arrest you for what you say. It doesn't mean that anyone else has to listen to your bull or host you while you share it. The First Amendment doesn't shield you from criticism or consequences. If you're yelled at, boycotted, have your show canceled, or get banned from an internet community, your free speech rights aren't being violated. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but let's see where it's going. It's just that the Musk listening thinks you're an a-hole and they're showing you the door. I don't want that in return, guys. That's funny. What's Cenk? Cenk's probably having a meltdown. Now that it's official, Elon Musk has bought Twitter. Is his first move going to be to bring back Donald Trump? Cenk sounds like he wants it to be. Yes, it would be a great idea. And of course that's going to happen. Well, no, it's not going to be his first move, but it will happen. I forgot Roger Stone was even on Twitter. Not a huge Roger Stone guy. Don't trust him. Cenk is funny. Like Cenk or not, Cenk actually had a very good interview. Any Valuetainment fans here? Any Valuetainment fans? That's one of my favorite channels. It's really a great channel, and Cenk was on there. Very good discussion. Yang was on there recently. Yang is always good. But Patrick Bet David. I mean, probably, I think people who watch this channel might be interested in that type of channel. Dina, Bishop, take care. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know how long I'm going to be hanging out, so as you go in and out, take care. Ray, whoever's in, thanks for hanging out. yeah, Patrick Bet David had Cenk on. It was a great discussion. Cenk is a smart guy. I've had some serious beef with him because his morals don't align with mine. He crosses the line a lot to me, but he's a very interesting guy. Somebody said, "Is this what cope is?" Like, if you didn't know what the word cope means when people use it as a negative or a derogatory term, what you're seeing from the left right now is cope. They need cope. Oh man, the China lockdown is. This is the part of the Chinese lockdown that really scares me. Is it's going to affect the world. I did a video a while back about what's happening in Shanghai, and this is going to happen for a long time. Shanghai is at a standstill with a record high number of cases. Since the new wave emerged, control management is the official stage of the Chinese response, where citizens cannot leave the area during testing. The tourism industry is also likely to take a hit. I'm not too worried about that. I know that's a problem for them, but what I'm worried about is the supply chain. They got trucks with rotting food because they won't let people drive it over the pandemic. They say it's over the pandemic. You know it's not, 'cause it doesn't make any sense. So let's see here. This is my dude, real populist left, real Nico House. He says, one day I'm going to get some good business sense, learn how to shut up and put my conscience and common sense to the side and just ride the algorithm of dumb popular opinions instead of always being surprised at how dumb popular opinions generally tend to be. It is something to think about. I mean, most recently on the channel, for whatever reason, I felt kind of passionate to talk about it. It was off topic. I think it's okay. I have a separate channel to talk about non-politics, but I did it on this channel where I talked about the Will Smith slap. It was the same night it happened. So I'm doing the live. You can look back on the channel. It's on there. I think it's on there. So I'm doing the live about the Will Smith slap. And I'm like, that's not really what I usually talk about. So I didn't really expect many people on the live. So I'm going through my tabs. I'm ranting about Will Smith and how it was such a beta move and all that kind of stuff, talking about him and Jada a little bit. And then I go back to StreamYard and I look just to see, because it shows you how many people are streaming. And I see 2,000 people. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I've never had 2,000. My videos don't even get 2,000 views. 2,000 on a live? That fits right with what Nico was talking about. They promote certain things and squash certain things. I mean, I'm not one to really put out a theory about them promoting something or not. I will say, I don't know. It looks like. No, they obviously promoted it. I had, at the end of the live, I had as many as Officer Tatum when he did his live on the slap, or that same night. And I was like, that's crazy. And the reason I bring that up is that's exactly what Nico's talking about. And the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. If you want to ride the wave of the algorithm, I mean, you got to talk about what you're passionate about, at least, especially me. Otherwise, it's going to be unlistenable. But that's the battle. He's not joking with that. This dude, Nico House, he's got the personality. I mean, he would be a movie star type of dude. He's just charisma, wit, hilarious dude. He was in the Better Discourse. They just had another one this past weekend. I haven't heard it yet, but he was there debating Destiny. It got kind of heated, but he's a funny dude. And my point is, if he did a channel about the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, he would probably have 100,000 people on his live like that. Guarantee it to you. I guarantee you he would have 100,000 people on there. But he's going against the grain. He's a populist left, not afraid. Look at his title. He says his title on Twitter is Joe Biden hates black people. He's not afraid to go against the grain and say how it is. He's the type of leftist that I think anybody that really watches this channel a lot would, even if you disagree, would respect. I'm going to reply to him. I guarantee if you did a stream on Depp heard, you'd get 100K views. Yep. But he's somebody who should be celebrating Elon Musk taking over Twitter. I really think people like that who are very good, that might be, harder to find. When I started doing YouTube, he was one of the first people that I kind of followed when I started recording videos. I don't know how I found out about him, but I just started watching his videos, and he's great. Let me go to his YouTube channel real quick. I'm going to digress, but I want to give him a shout out. They're good people. I haven't, I've chatted with them a little bit, but my impression is just good people. He's a former Bernie guy. A lot of these people on the left that I get along with are actually former Bernie people. I believe Kim Iverson is, if I'm not mistaken. All of them at the Nico House Network, Fiorella, Nico, I think Jimmy Dore is a former Bernie guy, Crystal Ball, a lot of them are former Bernie, people. But this is the channel Nico House and the MCSC Network. I forgot what that means, but this is his channel here. Really good stuff. He's on, is he? Oh no, it's an hour ago. So yep, he's dope. And then I want to give a shout out to the Convo Couch. These are people that I would, love to do a show with at some point. But I went on Jen Perlman's show, and I haven't reached out yet. I want to get her on this one. And I want to get Ray on this one too, Ray Studios. We got to set it up. It's just so hard with work for me. No excuses, but. So Convo Couch, they're down with Nico. They're in the same network. I actually subscribe to Rockfin as well. They do good stuff on Rockfin because they get banned. You can tell who's swimming upstream because they got demonetized. I think their whole channel, their whole network is demonetized. They're swimming upstream even though they're coming from the left. If you're grounded in truth, you are swimming upstream. The David Doyles, they don't have to worry about getting struck up. Even though I like David Doyle, no beef, no diss, they don't have to worry about strikes. Another person who I think would rise up here, I listen to a lot of YouTube channels. I just listen to them as like background. Sabby Sabs. I've actually done a reaction to some of her videos. She is also populist left. She is rising up. Her channel is amazing. She's for the people. And she doesn't talk about the race in the off-putting way too often. So I give her a lot of credit for that. I don't know if I've ever heard her talk about race in a way that was off-putting to me. So I'll actually give her more credit than that. Sabby Sabs is an excellent channel. She taught you'll see all these left-wing talking points. So I have a separate channel where I talk about left-wing stuff a lot. It's a pretty new channel. Jordan Lott, what's up? Elon Musk is making the elites and establishment in panic for sure. I can't wait for Dave freaking Smith to wreck it in Reno. Liberty for the win. Yes, sir. How could I not mention comic Dave Smith? This affects him too. I mean, if he can leverage Twitter in a more fair way, who knows how many more views he could get. How much more impact. And he's trying to make an impact. And I don't think he's officially ran for president, but I heard he had a good event out in Colorado. I think Robbie the Fire was there. I'm a very big supporter of the Mises Caucus. Grounded in truth, taking over the Libertarian Party. Since we're just on the live hanging out, let me just do real quick. I did a little video on this a while back on the Libertarian Party, and it's not the best clip, but I think it's a good clip to show like how I feel what they're doing with the Libertarian Party is changing perception, at least my perception, for liberty, the Mises Caucus. If you're not familiar, comic Dave Smith. He's that dude. These are the only things that I saw from mainstream media about the Libertarian Party, and this is what made them a joke.
I would like to ask the body to consider that the Libertarian Party acquire a mascot. And I would like to propose Dobby from the Harry Potter series, who in the 7th book says, Dobby has no master. Dobby is a free elf, and Dobby has come to save Harry Potter and his friends. The perception is that they take liberty with the idea of liberty.
This is the old Libertarian Party.
Easy, bro. That's too much for me. Too much liberty all at once. But what I am seeing is this dude does have some political gravitas, some smart, some savviness. He's cleansing that party of all that foolishness I showed you earlier.
I don't understand how, whatever your politics are, you can...
If you're not familiar, that's Michael Malice on the left, comic Dave Smith on the right.
Be on the side of people who can't handle Dave Smith if they're interested in handling the Republican Party and the Democratic Party.
The Andy Craig letter when he resigned was really something. I mean, he listed off every...
He's talking about cleansing the party of the Libertarian Party of people who really shouldn't be there if the Libertarian Party is going to be taken seriously.
Who can't handle Dave Smith if they're interested in handling the Republican Party and the Democratic Party.
The Andy Craig letter when he resigned was really something. I mean, he listed off every little position that he's had in the Libertarian Party. And he was like, I was the head of this committee. I worked on this campaign. I volunteered for this thing. I did this. I ran for this office and got the highest percentage of anybody who's ever lost for that office. And now I'm quitting. And it was this thing of like, yeah, like you see it, like you see the kind of entitlement. This is an illusion that someone sold you. And I'm sorry you bought into it, but that's not what I'm not working for any of these institutions. My commitment is like to human liberty. It's not to your steps.
Good to see there. Thank you, Jordan, for the shout out to the Convo Couch. Great journalists. I mean, they're real journalists. They travel to foreign countries, tell you the real story. Oh my! Oh, let me get that off the screen. Whoa. Yeah. I don't know if you saw the tweet on the screen. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to ruin the day and get a strike or something. Let's just say the non-left is acting a fool now. Wow. People, this is going to be wild. If you didn't see what I showed on the screen, accidentally, it just came up on my feed. Michael Knows, he of Daily Wire, fame, said something about 2020 that I don't want to repeat here. And he just said it on Twitter. Just let it hang out there. Like he's testing the waters. Michael, the deal's not done yet, bruh. Don't get banned. Don't get banned now. We don't know what the date is. Could be Gary Black. I showed it later. He said it was going to happen later this year. So I don't know what date it's going to happen. The press conference should be going on right now. I don't know if we can find a live feed on that. Oh gosh, Michael, I don't even know if Twitter will, YouTube will let me show that comment. Okay, with Elon Musk purchasing Twitter, are you more or less likely to spend time? I don't know how much more time I could spend, so I'll just say more out of principle. Oh my goodness, what is this? Mexican authorities are trying to stop migrants from entering the river? Whoa. I just want to see if there's anybody know if there's a live stream of this? It probably isn't of this. There's a meeting that the CEO is going to meet with the employees here. Let me see if I can find something live. Searching YouTube for Twitter, something live. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if we can get any information. Oh, they're going to be talking about immigration here, I think.
I'd like to thank Congressman Tony Gonzalez for bringing us here, and Leader McCarthy, thank you very much. I'm from Georgia, and this is my first real border trip, and I just want to tell you right now, this isn't about political parties, and it should be nothing about politics. This should be about securing the United States border, respecting our laws, respecting our law enforcement, respecting the families and the businesses that live right here along our border, and then also realizing by the sheer numbers and the facts and the information that we learned today.
I have a lot of expectations for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I really do think, and I keep in mind, I said this about AOC too, so I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll change my mind. I think she has potential to be special. A special, I'll say once in a generation type politician. I remember when Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene came in together, basically, that I didn't know. Like, I couldn't tell them apart. Now it's like night and day. Lauren Boebert is nowhere near a Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she separated herself. And I've played it before on this channel, and she's talking about immigration here, but just made me think about the moment that I really saw something in her was when she was removed from the committees. And I'll see if I can find the video. It's one of my favorite speeches ever on the floor. Let me see if I can find it. I want the whole speech, not the, yeah, I should have that saved. I've watched it a lot. It's one of my favorite, and it's probably one of the most humbling, relatable speeches I've ever seen on the floor. I'm going to try and see if I can find it. You might know. I've played it way back on the channel before, but, I don't play it enough. One thing I do like about Eric July is that he will do things over and over, and because sometimes the first time you hear something, it doesn't hit you the right way, or you don't hear it or whatever. And when you play it multiple times, or he will frame things differently but cover the same topic, it helps you kind of evolve with him. You can't really just cover something once. Everybody doesn't see it, all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to see if I can find it. I'm in the mood for that. Because it really, I think the speech, I feel it was a white pill moment, even though she was being kicked off the committee and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, right now they're just showing her trial. This was right after she got in office. She got removed from her committees, and it didn't really mean anything because she was a minority. Okay, let me she was in the minority party, not a minority. Let me play this. Because I want to show people what I see, why I think she's special.
Speaker, my Democrat colleague, thank you.
So let me read this. Just the context is, today I rose in objection to the unprecedented attempt by the Democrat majority to remove me from my committee seats. I've never been more proud to represent the people of Northwest Georgia.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, my Democrat colleagues, Republican colleagues, my district back home in Georgia 14, to the American people, to my mom and dad, and my husband and my children. I've been here for 1 month and a day, and I've gotten to know part of my conference, my Republican colleagues, but not even all of them yet. I haven't gotten to know any of my Democrat colleagues, and I haven't had to have any conversations with any of you to tell you who I am and what I'm about. You only know me by how Media Matters, CNN, MSNBC, and the rest of the mainstream media is portraying me. What you don't know about me is that I'm a very proud wife of almost 25 years, that I'm a mother of 3 children, and I consider being a mother the greatest blessing of my life and the greatest thing that I'll ever achieve. I'm proudly the first person to graduate college in my family, making my parents very happy and proud. I'm also a very successful business owner. We've grown our company from 1 state to 11 states. I'm a very hard worker. I've always paid my taxes. I've never been arrested. I've never done drugs, but I've gotten a few speeding tickets in my day. What you need to know about me is I'm a very regular American, just like the people I represent in my district and most people across the country. I never ever considered to run for Congress or even get involved in politics. As a matter of fact, I wasn't a political person until I found a candidate that I really liked, and his name is Donald J. Trump when he ran for president. To me, he was someone I could relate to, someone that I enjoyed his plain talk, not the offensive things, but just the way he talked normally. And I thought, finally, maybe this is someone that will do something about the things that deeply bother me, like the fact that we're so deeply in debt that our country has murdered over 62 million people in the womb. The fact that our borders are open and some of my friends have had their children murdered by illegal aliens. Or perhaps that maybe we can stop sending our sons and daughters to fight in foreign wars and be used as the world's police, basically. Or maybe that our government would stand up for our American businesses and our American jobs and make the American people and the American taxpayers their focus. These are the things that I care about deeply. So when we elected President Trump, and then I started seeing things in the news that didn't make sense to me, like Russian collusion, which are conspiracy theories also, and have been proven so. These things bothered me deeply, and I realized just watching CNN or Fox News, I may not find the truth. And so what I did is I started looking up things on the internet, asking questions like most people do every day. Use Google. And I stumbled across something, and this was at the end of 2017, called QAnon. Well, these posts were mainly about this Russian collusion information. A lot of it was some of what I would see on the news at night, and I got very interested in it. So I posted about it on Facebook, I read about it, I talked about it, I asked questions about it, and then more information came from it. But you see, here's the problem. Throughout 2018, because I was upset about things and didn't trust the government really, because the people here weren't doing the things that I thought they should be doing for us, the things that I just told you I cared about. And I want you to know, a lot of Americans don't trust our government, and that's sad. The problem with that is, though, is I was allowed to believe things that weren't true, and I would ask questions about them and talk about them. And that is absolutely what I regret. Because if it weren't for the Facebook post and comments that I liked in 2018, I wouldn't be standing here today, and you couldn't point a finger and accuse me of anything wrong, because I've lived a very good life that I'm proud of, my family's proud of, my husband's proud of, my children are proud of, and that's what my district elected me for. So later in 2018, when I started finding misinformation, lies, things that were not true in these QAnon posts, I stopped believing it. And I want to tell you, any source, and I say this to everyone, any source of information that is a mix of truth and a mix of lies is dangerous, no matter what it is saying, what party it is helping, anything or any country it's about. It's dangerous. And these are
that's like the first half of the speech there, but one of my favorite speeches. It just came across as authentic, humble. I think she needed to be humbled at that moment. Not that she did anything wrong, but she had just gotten to Congress. I think this was after her and Cori Bush were yelling at each other, and I was like, I don't like what I'm seeing, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You should be telling Cori Bush, let's sit down and talk. Let's do better. Let's do better for all of our, maybe let's work out a deal. And they were yelling in the hallway. It was over a mask. So I can't blame either one of them. I can't blame Marjorie Taylor Greene for like, what the hell? But what a moment there. One of my favorite speeches. She also has the speech after the State of the Union, the response to Joe Biden's State of the Union. You have to go to Rumble for that one. Can't play that one here. That speech was fire. Dina Marie says she might go back onto Twitter. She might try Twitter out. Hey, that's a white pill for me, for someone who's not on Twitter, to say maybe Elon might do something that will make me feel more comfortable going on Twitter. Right now, Twitter is an enemy territory type of thing. Buy Twitter is trending. Great. Buy Twitter is trending. You don't have to say you're leaving Twitter if you're afraid of free speech. Just leave. No one will miss you echoing the current narrative. Buy Twitter. Yep. Jenk just tweeted this an hour ago. Is this when we all pretend we're going to leave Twitter with hashtags like buy Twitter, but no one actually leaves? He's being based right there. He's not a stupid person. He's very entertaining. It's not an accident why he rose up with that channel. Yeah, people are saying buy Twitter. Interesting. I'm not seeing any live, so I don't see a live discussion on it. Just want to see if they were doing like a live CEO discussion or something. No, I'm seeing stuff from an hour ago. Yeah, nothing live. This is the live feed. This is Fox. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, so they're on a commercial or something like that. But I'm not seeing anything. I thought we were going to see a little bit. I was hoping we would see the details by the end of today. And we're kind of well, they're in California, I think. So they probably have a couple more hours, but it'd be kind of late for that. What is the TI? I never saw the TITT. Why that started trending.
We're going to get an update on a terrible situation that happened over the weekend, a deadly fire that happened in Philadelphia. And we have Fox 29's Jeff Cole.
Yeah, they're off on another topic there. I'm just going to go back to see what's going on. Bob Newhart is trending. What is going on today? Anybody old enough to remember the Bob Newhart show? Oh my goodness, that show was hilarious. It was him. He had the 3 ones. He was like, I'm Daryl. This is my cousin Daryl. This is my other cousin Daryl. Anybody remember the Bob Newhart show? That dude had the driest humor of all time. Loved that show. I absolutely loved that show. It's a good show, charming show. Why is he trending? I can say now that Don Rickles can no longer find it about it. It was Richard Pryor. Kind words for Richard Pryor. Why is Bob Newhart trending? What's happening today? Is he alive? No, he's not alive. He passed away, right? He passed away a long time ago. Bob Newhart. Yeah, he passed away like a long time ago, right? Why is he trending? Is he alive? Is Bob Newhart still alive? Why did I think he passed away? Oh my goodness. I apologize. He's 92. Wow. I apologize. Bob Newhart is alive. Well, I did not know that. Bob Newhart was that dude, man. I loved a lot of those old shows back in the day. Oh, so that's what happened. Okay. I would have never guessed who that was. But glad to see him still up there. I would tell him if I could say, Bob, I got a lot of laughs out of you. I used to watch the syndicated reruns when I was younger. I really liked that show. Liked All in the Family and a lot of the shows from back then. So it looks like this is why he's trending, because you wouldn't probably recognize him. Looks good for 92. Looks good. I didn't even, I feel bad. I had no idea he was still alive. I don't know why I thought he had passed away. And I thought it was a long time ago, too. That's bad. He was the king of dry humor. Bob Newhart. Oh, Nathaniel Brown, thank you for the super chat. Nabrano says, just want to spot you a couple beers or coffees, whatever beverage you prefer. You totally should have a bigger following. Keep at it, brother. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I got a little bit left. So thanks for that. They'll give me a couple more cans of poison. But beer is poison too. I appreciate it. You know what? When Meta gets off, because it can't chill with everybody. Well, when Meta gets popping, I know a lot of people aren't into Meta. If you don't know Meta's all it is augmented reality, virtual reality. We'll be able to go into Meta, have a brew, and chill. That's going to be dope. Everything about Meta is not going to be bad. And Meta is coming. I'm very, very strong on that. Meta is coming. But I was also strong on Elon Musk, even though, I tout how strong he is and how smart he is. I was strong on saying that this was not going to happen. So take it with a grain of salt. Thank you, Nathaniel Brown, for the super chat. Casual Goats is like, I'm not going in those pods. Yeah, I do have the Oculus headset. And I will say, it's, Casual Goat said, yeah, we definitely should do a pod, man. A collab stream. But I will say this. When you get used to them, I don't use it that often. I mean, it's collecting dust, to be honest. But every once in a while, I'll say, oh, let me try this thing on. When the graphics get good, it is going to be the place to be. When you get 4K type graphics, right now it's like Nintendo 64. Or maybe a little bit better. When you get full graphics, it is going to be crazy. And we'll probably have Neuralink at that point, so it will be real life. When you have Neuralink mixed with Meta, it won't be about graphics anymore. It's just messing with your brain. And yeah, I know it's scary, but that's going to be norm. That's going to be the norm. Oh, Casual Goat said his brother just got a VR headset. Have you tried it? Which one do you mind if I ask which one he got? I got the Oculus 2, I believe it was, a while back. Don't use it that much. Just tried to see how it felt, just to kind of research. Because I had the cardboard with the Google phone, which was surprisingly decent for just putting a phone in literally a cardboard box, and then they angle the view so it feels like virtual reality. The Oculus is better because, for me, I didn't get as seasick in it. Oculus is dope. It's dope. It's good enough for me to know that it will be the future. In the future, we're not going to be on YouTube like this. We're going to be in virtual world and just talking like normal. Yeah, Elon did it. B. Deering, friend of the show. Yes, Elon did it. Cheers. We got to look at the details. We got to read the fine print. But Elon Musk doesn't do deals that don't work for what he wants to do. He's not going to sign some bogus deal. I agree completely, Casual Goats. I'll get to that in a second. B. Deering says, I wonder how many bots he will take out in the first month. He might do that. The first thing after he figures out the algorithm might be getting rid of the bots. And that's a significant thing. Because how much do the bots, affect what's trending? Affect the comments on a thread? Kind of attacking opinions? The bots are playing a huge role, I think. Yeah, I think he's going to get rid of them. Casual Ghosts, I agree completely. Augmented reality is way more cooler than virtual. It's way more cooler. I think that's the true... Augmented reality is the true future. Yeah, Elon Musk is going to go for free speech. He doesn't like what's going on. He doesn't like what's happening. He sees it as poison to the world. And he's gonna free it. But augmented reality, if you don't know, augmented reality is like you just put on goggles and you will see the images in front of you. So you could have a room in your house that there's nothing there but white walls. And you could project a TV on the wall. You could project artwork on the wall. You could have a headset, or they're going to be just regular contacts or glasses or Neuralink at some point, a chip in your brain. You could be in a room that's all white walls. Your wife or whoever else is in the room, they could have a different view than you do. So they could have different art on the wall, and it would look completely real. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. That's how crazy it is. Nathaniel Brown says Meta is going to wind up like that Bruce Willis movie Surrogates. Yeah, I think we are. I think, was Tim Pool just talking about that? I think Tim Pool was just talking about that movie. I listened to a lot of Tim Pool, but that's that movie where it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's that movie where it was somebody. It wasn't a real woman. It was a man behind it, type of thing, kind of like The Matrix. But here's my thing with that. This is an interesting topic. We're off top. We're a little bit off the rails here, but this is just an extra long live. Who cares? I don't think it matters. I know it sounds weird. So what I'm saying is when you go into Meta, eventually, it's going to look real and feel real. You won't be able to tell the metaverse from a real life universe. And you could meet, let's say, a young Amber Heard without the craziness, very attractive, whatever. And you could do whatever, talk whatever with her. And it really could be it could be Bob Newhart. You could meet Amber Heard, and it's just an avatar, and the real person behind the avatar is Bob Newhart. I'm not gonna lie. If it's Amber Heard and looks like Amber Heard, it's Amber Heard for me, man. It's not gonna matter at that point. Would it matter to you? Like, I think, isn't that what Surrogates was about, where it had kind of that, like it was a surrogate in the body? I'm gonna throw it out to y'all. Maybe let's not use Amber Heard because she's got the negative stuff there. I'm trying to think of who else, who's attractive out there. Whoever. I'm still old school, so I think Halle Berry. But whoever the new age ones are. But I like Meg Thee Stallion. Let's say you meet Meg Thee Stallion or whoever you think's attractive in the virtual world. Let's say you meet them in the virtual world and you figure out that it's not really a real person. The person behind it is Bob Newhart. He's 92, a 92-year-old man. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. How do you know that's not the case now? How do you know that's not the case now? Yeah. Let's see what's going on. Twitter HQ. Let's see. I'm waiting for some news coming out of the HQ. Let's see if there's anything latest going on here. Twitter HQ. Let's see. So somebody said, prepare Elon Musk until you have fully taken control. I expect the leftist activists in the Twitter HQ will be going on a massive suspension spree, terminating conservative accounts, terminating followers, and their efforts to rat F your company. Yeah. Let's see. That is... So do you get what he's saying there, or he or she, that there's going to be this time frame that Elon Musk and his lawyers are going to have to account for between the announcement and whenever he really takes over. And in that point, these leftists they're just crazy. They're just insane. Who knows if they could, I don't know what power they have. They could go banning people or something. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see if that happens. of live view of Elon Musk at Twitter headquarters tomorrow morning.
Hello all, no need to run.
It was pretty funny. Twitter headquarters right now. They got rats leaving the building. People are fooling, man. Michael Knowles just came out and was talking about 2020. Michael, he's not there yet, bruh. Hold on. He's almost like he wants to get, banned so then Elon could get him out. I can't even begin to imagine the secession level shenanigans taking place at Twitter headquarters. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to see. I don't know if my wife's got my kids. Well, I might have to stop the live and see. That's a lot of crying. My 3-year-old. Okay, he just stopped crying. Okay. She probably got him. Twitter HQ and the libs saying the same thing, except the words are in a slightly different order. Yeah, it is something to, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's nothing you can't undo. I don't think there's any harm that they could really do that you can't undo. So somebody, Olga says, who's great on Twitter, says, I really didn't think this was a big deal, but the amount of seething and alarm from liberal crybabies makes me think maybe it is. That's the Eric July take. Like, it doesn't matter anything. We don't forget anything else. To see certain people this concerned, he says that's a good thing. And that's what she's saying. Yeah. If you doubt how important this is, just take a look. Twitter is the only social platform that I still use, and there's so much good in it. Every day, I have many wonderful interactions with people here. But a Twitter owned by Musk is so abhorrent to me that I don't feel like I can be a part of it. This makes me absolutely furious. Wow. Well, I don't know what that's based off of, but that's how, hey, you can't question someone's feelings. An hour ago, Elon tweeted this. I need to just go to Elon's Twitter feed. Do I get alerts? Why do I not get alerts? Yeah, I should be getting alerts from him. I get alerts from too many people. Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated, said Mr. Musk. I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithms open source to increase trust, defeating the spam bots, and authenticating all humans. Twitter has tremendous potential. I look forward to working with the company and the community of users to unlock it. He's telling you what his first things are. Making the algorithm open source, or algorithms, there's a bunch of them, to increase trust. And that's exactly what I was saying. Who knows? Maybe you're not being shadow banned. It's just you're not reaching people. Now we will be able to see and trust this thing. Because people who are into programming, they will verify, they will trust. They will check, make sure it's doing what it really is doing. Oh, man, that's going to be good. Defeating the bots was his number 2 thing. And authenticating all humans, number 3. So it looks like the terms of condition, Trump, all that, is number 4 at most. Because he didn't say bringing anybody back there. Somebody said reported. Let's look and see. Did I miss anything else from Elon? Elon is leading this thing here. He's going to use Twitter more probably. He already uses it quite a bit, but now he's motivated to use it even more. That was his last tweet. Oh wow, Hyperloop testing at full scale. Wow. So if you're not familiar, Hyperloop is like it's like an air compressed bullet train. It's really cool stuff. I did a video on another channel. Maybe I could put that in there and then see if my son's still crying. But I have another channel called Elevate the Game. I haven't seen this video in a while. Let me go back to it, see if it has anything pertinent to what we're talking about. but they did put money in one of the recent packages that passed Congress over the last 2 years on the Hyperloop. So let me see if I can bring this up here. Old style video.
What is good? Osiris here, and this is Elevate the Game. Hyperloop, the futuristic transport system, has been included in this landmark $1 trillion infrastructure bill that passed through the Senate this past Tuesday. What is the Hyperloop? The Hyperloop is a new form of ground transportation. It's currently in development by a number of companies. You could see passengers traveling at over 700 miles an hour, even up to 750 miles an hour, floating in a pod. Stay with me. I know this sounds crazy, but we're entering a new era right here of technology. So you're in a floating pod that zooms inside a giant low pressure tube. So
that's the Hyperloop. So they're going to be doing testing on that soon. Nathaniel Brown, thank you for the super chat 5. VR, virtual reality, will become fully adopted by society once virtual sex feels like the real thing. And that's true. Just facts. Yep, it's absolutely true. That's internet. What did they say? Internet. A lot of the internet usage is for adult kind of content. It's all over Twitter right now. So, yep. Imagine being. I'm gonna go check on my son. He's still crying. So I think that's the cue that it's on me. Casual goat. Imagine being able to freely have sex with the most attractive person ever. Deep diving into games with complete immersion. Are you a manlet? Now you aren't. Are you crippled? Now you aren't. Yeah, it's that big. I can completely understand the appeal of virtual reality to a lot of people. Admittedly, it seems great to me as well sometimes, but it's just isn't real enough. Yeah, it's not real enough yet, but it will get there. But you're right. Yeah, and people are using it for adult activities now, even though it's not that real. It's more immersive, you could say, but it's not. You don't have the touch and all that. But so Hyperloop came up. Let me finish this out, see if I can check to make sure my son's good, and I'll be right back. Might finish this off.
So air pressure, either above or below the ground. So what makes this special? Well, there's a couple things. The pods travel through tubes or tunnels, which most of the air has been removed to reduce friction. So it's not a train. This is a whole new mode of transportation. Because of that, there's no friction. It allows the pods to travel up to 750 miles an hour. Second, instead of using wheels, they float on air skis, which is basically the same thing as an air hockey table or a magnetic levitation type of device to reduce friction. Well, why would we want to do it? There could be less pollution, could be cheaper and faster than train or car. They say it's quicker and cheaper to build than these high-speed rails that you might see in other countries. Hyperloop could be used to take pressure off all these roads on the traffic, the air travel, making travel between cities easier, and maybe even unlocking more economic benefits as a result. So if you could go from New York to California in, I'm just going to say 45 minutes. That would be like a commute. You could live anywhere that this was on, that had transportation through Hyperloop and work and live anywhere. That would change the game. This system, of course, was first implemented by none other than, wait for it, it's a new, innovative, crazy idea. The idea came from one of the smartest guys in the world, business and otherwise, engineering. Yeah, it's Elon Musk. That's the dude right there. The bill, the infrastructure bill, will allow companies to compete for federal funding for U.S.-based Hyperloop projects, while also codifying
This is the dude that Nina Turner said he's not a genius. Nina, Nina Turner, man. This is one of the worst tweets I've seen in quite some time. I want to see it again if she hasn't deleted it. Oh, Nina. She literally said he's not a genius. Which, whatever. What does that mean? But that's just dumb. This is her. He's not a genius. He's the product of generational wealth and a rigged system. Oh, Lord. If he's not a genius, I don't know what it really means to be a genius, if your IQ or whatever it is. But if he's not one, then I don't know who is. Wow. It's a Hyperloop. Wow, that's big stuff. Bye-bye? What is that? So I don't know, but let me go through. I'm going to look at Twitter one last time, and I'll probably be out. I thought there was going to be a press conference. That's really what I was hanging on for. Does anybody know if there's going to be a press conference? It's official. He buys Twitter. I thought there was going to be some type of an announcement. Let's see here. Cities with the worst traffic. Yeah, he does boring tunnel. Yep, boring company too. Yeah, I don't see I thought there was going to be an announcement. I'm just searching on DuckDuckGo right now. Still use DuckDuckGo. I don't see it. Oh, AOC is in the news. Just found this randomly. AOC to Jeff Bezos, if you can go to space, you can give our Amazon workers a bathroom break. If you go to space, you can make sure you're treating people well and giving them solid healthcare benefits. Okay. What's she talking about?
Here in New York, you got to treat our people. And if you're going to do business out here in New York, you got to treat our people right. And so if you can go to space, you can give our workers a bathroom break. Ain't that right? If you can go to space, you can make sure that you're treating people well and giving them solid health care benefits. That they don't have a 3-hour commute
Bernie down there. Bernie's there too.
to and from work. That they can afford the house that they can live in. That people don't have to be sleeping in their cars in order to work for Amazon. All of this is an indignity and an injustice, and it has no place in New York City. And we're going to change that. And right here, our workers out here are going to change that.
Okay, well, I don't disagree with that. It's interesting because she wasn't a part of this movement. If you haven't been following this on the populist left, AOC did not jump aboard in the efforts to unionize Amazon, but it looks like she's there now with them, and Bernie's there too. So that's news to me. That's the first I've seen them jump on that. Parag Agrawal is trending now. See what happened. Let's see. Oh, wow. Wait, what? Wait a second. They said that Jack could get almost $1 billion? Let's see here. The Twitter co-founder and top company executives could be in line for a significant payday should Tesla moguls deal close, even though they might prefer to be running the company themselves. Well, Jack's on board with, so Jack got the best of both worlds. So Jack, let's see here. Jack Dorsey owned 2.4% of the company, about 18 million shares, which Elon would be buying for $54.20 each. That would set Dorsey up for $978 million cash payout. Oh my gosh. That dude just won the lotto. Wow. I wonder if they factor that into the funds to secure this thing. Samantha says, AOC talks about treating people right, yet her workers wearing masks while she was maskless. Yeah, she's a walking hypocrite, walking, talking hypocrite. I am all for, obviously treating workers right. My concerns with unions are I don't know if they have workers' interests in the best, in the front of their mind. They are just another institution, another company, basically. And self-preservation is always the number one goal of a company. B. Deering at 11 says AOC talking about treating people right is a horrible joke. I think on its face, it makes sense. I don't know what she wants to do. Like when you get into the policy, it gets a little murky. But Casual Goat says AOC the horse. Oh, man. But Jack Dorsey, a bill, pretty much up to a bill payout. Whoa. 39 mil for Parag. Wow. Wow. Somebody's trying to go after Elon, kind of saying, hey, remember when he celebrated Jack Dorsey resigning with a tweet that compared him to Stalin? Parag. People take this stuff too seriously. Yeah, I think I might be out. Because I thought something was gonna pop off, but I don't see it unless I missed it. But if it pops off, I could always come back on again. Thanks a lot for joining. Aha! Somebody replied to me on one of my tweets. Said they're burning the papers now. In taking over, Eric Weinstein said, Elon, let us know what was going on before you got there. And then someone replied to me. I said, if we don't get leaks on this info, then there's some type of agreement. Another typo. Some type of agreement made happening now. Shredding the papers. Good day. White pill day. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. I might be on again later. Who knows? Take care.